In a world where Hollywood executives decide some scripts should never be made, one podcast will stand in defiance. Experience the worst Hollywood has to offer with readings of the scripts you never wanted.
Gordon has his gun in his mouth. This time, he's loaded the bullets into the gun. He must have taken a class.
Wow, I'm getting to be a better cop.
Table Reads, bringing to life the worst movies never made at a podcast app near you.
The year is 1993. A writer named Graham Yost was told by his dad, who was also, he's a Canadian television host, according to Wikipedia. He was told about a movie called Runaway Train, starring Jon Voight, and that he was like, kind of reminiscing about this movie, and he's like, yeah, it's about a train that speeds out of control because there's a bomb on it. But then when Graham researched it, there was no bomb element. That was something that his dad conflated with some other movie. But he thought this movie was good, but you know what would make it better? A bomb on the train. He's like, that'd be really a great idea for a movie. If something couldn't slow down because there was a bomb that would go off. And so he wrote a movie, and he called it Minimum Speed. About a bus that couldn't go below a minimum speed or it would blow up. He quickly realized that the word minimum, brought the movie down to a negative connotation, and he just said, fuck it, I'll call it Speed. And thus, this movie was born. Keanu Reeves, they cast him off of Point Break. They wanted a million other actors before him, and they thought, this guy's got the look. He's non-threatening to men, and women want to be around him. Many called this Die Hard on a Bus. And so many changes to the script were made to lessen the John McClane-ish qualities of the main character, Jack Traven. And initially, the entire movie took place on a bus, but they decided to add a elevator opening and a train ending to spice things up. The director of this movie was originally supposed to be, they had reached out to Michael Bay and John McTiernan of Die Hard fame. And when McTiernan didn't want to do it because of the similarities of the initial draft to Die Hard, he offered up his DP from Die Hard, a guy named Jan De Bont, who had never directed a movie before. Jan De Bont agreed to do it, and the rest is history. Many women were offered this role. Initially, it was supposed to be an African-American actress, and Halle Berry was offered the role. She declined, and then later regretted that decision upon seeing the movie. And then it was offered. Then it changed many times, and it was offered to Meryl Streep and and some other people who I forget. Oh, here we go. Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson. They were all considered for Keanu Reeves' role. Oh, and then after they thought the African-American woman wouldn't work, they were like, oh, maybe it's like a funny sidekick. And that was supposed to be Ellen DeGeneres. That got nipped in the bud as well. Oh, yeah, Meryl Streep and Kim Basinger and Anne Heche were all considered. I thought Kim Basinger would be good, but ultimately...
You didn't think Meryl Streep could pull it off?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Meryl Streep could do it.
But Sandra Bullock nails it, and then, of course, Dennis Hopper, the great Dennis Hopper, as the villain in this movie. The original villain of this movie was supposed to be the Jeff Daniels character. That was going to be a twist, and that he was the one behind it all. But then Graham Yost, the writer, realized that there were it was basically impossible. There were too many changes he had to make that plot element work. And then once Dennis Hopper was brought on, he was like, oh yeah, this they didn't want to have an outside villain, someone who's not there with them throughout the whole movie. They thought an off-screen villain wouldn't be compelling, but Dennis Hopper pulls it off. And this movie was a bona fide hit, and it spawned a sequel, and we'll be talking about both of those movies on our first TWO-FER series. This is License to Watch, and I'm Matt McGregor.
I'm Colin Shaw. I'm Harris McCabe.
Yes, and we are going to determine if the first Speed movie deserves a license to watch.
That was just another pointless sequel that didn't have to be made.
joining us today, once again, Mr. Jarale Phillips.
What it do?
Back from Hogwarts.
Got him in a grown-up movie this time.
And on the ones and twos over here is Mr. Chris Gill. Yep, there he is. All right, so yeah, guys, should we start the movie or should we?
Yet?
No,
Yeah.
I think we should chit-chat a little bit.
I keep.
Yeah, I know. You keep extending your arm.
I mean, what else do we have to say about
I'm
this?
doing it.
We could talk about. We could start off by just talking about like when we saw this and like the first. Because I don't think I watched this a couple weeks ago, and it's the first time I've seen it. I think since it came out. Because spoiler alert, did not like this movie.
No,
because it's just incredibly dumb. I mean, other than that, it's pretty.
Did
good.
you think that when
It's
you
very
first
stupid.
watched it that it was incredibly dumb?
When I first watched it, I thought it was
In 1993?
Like, yes, super dumb. Yeah, I mean, I was what, in middle school or maybe high school then. I thought it was incredibly dumb.
I like this. We're watching the movie, and there's like trivia that's popping up.
Wow.
I like this.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do it.
Oh, we also are. I think the opening titles are like my favorite part of this movie. It's just this slow
All-time
descent down
great.
a long ass elevator
All
shaft.
time great opening
Yeah, very good
titles.
opening
This
titles.
font reminds me of Microsoft Word art in the best way possible. I know that sounds like negative, but I love it.
So I don't know if I saw this in the theater. I feel like it was around the era when I was seeing movies like this in the theater, but it is a hard R, this movie. It's pretty violent. It's quite possible that my parents didn't take me to this one. I definitely saw it on home video. Do you guys know the story about the guy who is trying to collect every VHS copy of this movie ever made?
Oh, I think I've heard something about
There's
that.
like a guy who goes around the country, like to video stores and like to
what
sales and yeah, he's trying to find to what end. I don't know. He just loves this movie and he wants every copy to himself. Only on VHS, the greatest
Why
medium.
Or is he
He's probably
trying to
got like
rid
a-
the world?
Yeah. Is he trying to just destroy
Is he
every
trying to
VHS
purify
copy?
the
Yeah.
DVD collections?
I bet he's got like a bomb attached to his skull, and if he doesn't get every VHS, he's gonna
Well, if that's
blow
his
up.
plan, he's got to do it over my dead body because I own this movie on VHS.
You won't let him live.
You're gonna be the holdout. Matt's gonna be the holdout. He's gonna be like, "Well, how much is it worth to you?" Like the last one.
I'm gonna like be the
a
Dennis
bomb in my
Hopper
head.
character to him.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Pop quiz, hot shot. There's one tape left. Where is it?" Funny, weird story. Somehow, I don't remember how, I came in possession of a Subway style movie poster, like a landscape, gigantic poster, like the size of this wall that we're looking at.
What do you mean Subway style? It had Jared in it?
I thought
Yeah.
it was, I was thinking sandwich too.
I got it for
definitely thinking,
$5.
It smelled like yeasty bread.
No, like a poster that's hanging in a subway station.
Right,
That's
okay.
a thing in New York. I don't know. Some say they have one here.
They're big.
The one here is in the movie.
Yeah, some say. But yeah, it was a gigantic poster, and it was hanging up in my dad's living room. He let us put it up in the living room, and it stayed there for many years. And like as a kid, I remember thinking that was really cool that we had this like Speed poster in our living room. But looking back, I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with my dad?
Real conversation piece. Also, I would think that would be like, this is that your dad did not give a shit about what his apartment looked like.
It was a real bachelor pad.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched this, but it's really weird because I remember that I was in a motel, and I was in a room by myself. I think I was traveling with my parents, but they weren't in the same room, and it wasn't like
Nice.
a nice motel. It was just like a motel, and and then
Did you have the adjoining door between the rooms?
I believe so, yeah. But I cannot remember where we were or why we were there. But I do remember I watched Speed for the first time, and I was like, wow, that was Speed.
Was it uncut or was it commercials?
Yeah, commercials. I mean, I must have spent 3 hours watching it or whatever, 3-4 hours, But I do think I do think it was not edited for content because I remember Dennis Hopper's head getting chopped off and all the
They
buses
didn't
getting
do all that
blown
back
up and
then.
everything.
yeah.
Did you watch it on Channel 13? That's the first time I saw it.
I don't know. It was,
on Channel
whatever.
13 on a Sunday.
This is the most violent death in the whole movie. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah, that's pretty nasty.
The guy
Besides
gets stabbed in the
Dennis
side of the
Hopper
head in
getting
the like
saved.
first 2
Well,
minutes.
Well, you
of
don't
the
really
movie.
see that much with Dennis Hopper. At least this guy, you see like all the blood and shit.
Yeah, and like where he stabs him in the head is really
Yeah,
nasty
like-
too. It's like
front
right
of
in
the
the
ear.
temple. Yeah. Oh.
We got a couple random. This is the beginning of the movie where random business people are in the elevator, and all three of these guys are from other things. There's a little guy who's from like everything.
Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive is his most famous role. He's the guy who has a heart attack because of the homeless person in Mulholland Drive. And then the tall guy in the back is into a lot of stuff too. And he was the Flash in the original Flash TV show.
Oh wow.
And then the other businessman looking dude is from a bunch of. He's just random businessman from stuff.
He was the Flash and he's in Speed.
Yeah, only fast stuff for him.
He's also in Terminal Velocity.
Jarale, you say your first impressions of this movie as you recall them?
I loved it. I thought it was a work of art, masterful in the way that the bus drove fast and you could constantly see the speedometer. I remember watching this as a kid and thinking to myself, fuck, dude, this is intense. In my living room on a wooden TV
Yeah.
on Channel 13 on
Classic
Sunday.
wood paneled televisions.
Yeah. And I dug it, man. I dug it at the time. Now, when I watched it earlier today, I did not enjoy it so much. And Dennis Hopper. So this was my thing. This is my biggest takeaway.
Hot take coming up. Hot take.
This is the absolute worst villain in a movie that I think I've ever seen before in my life.
Wow.
Have you seen Waterworld? Because Dennis
I have
Hopper's
seen
the villain in
Waterworld.
Waterworld, and it's.
It might be worse.
I would argue it's super
Yeah,
similar.
You
to
don't
It's
think his
terrible.
performance
I mean,
is
there's-
good? You got blinders on, man.
I mean, just a regular Joe Schmo ass, like no drama to him, no. He doesn't even have like I guess his hand is fucked up, but you can't even really see his hand in the movie. Like
They
don't even
never show
it.
a clear shot of it.
This is
Yeah.
one of the things they don't really establish it. Like the first time when he reaches into his bag to get the thing to get the paperwork for the guy, he grabs the paperwork with his index
you're not-
finger. and
your
middle
eye
finger.
doesn't go to his
exactly. You're
hand.
not. Yeah, it's like they expect us to catch stuff that we're not going to.
I don't see it until like the second time he's on screen. They show it, but
At
yeah,
one point, he
it's-
puts his hand up and you can see his palm, and they like have his thumb
Right.
like makeup.
You
to
never
the
really see.
palm, but-
Okay,
Like, all of that's
let's
fine.
talk about this real quick.
but it's not clear what his
Keanu
motivation.
Reeves chewing this gum. Keanu Reeves is chewing the fuck out of this gum right now.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And this is acting in the 90s. This is like
Act like you're enjoying your gum.
this could have got you a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get him back on screen. Let me see.
We also got Joe Morton, big actor from the
Oh
Terminator
yeah, he's
franchise.
chewing that gum so hard.
He's chewing the fuck out of that gum. Look
Oh
at that
my
shit.
god.
Yeah.
Turning his head, looking around. He's got his eyebrow.
He's
cocked,
just showing
and
off that
he's just chewing
jawline.
the fuck
It's
out of
actually it's a whatever it is, Jawzrsize thing. That's what he's got in his mouth.
It's like he's chewing gum the way you could only. It can't be just one stick of gum. That must be like at least a half pack of extra.
You put a couple extra pieces in there. That's to challenge yourself.
stunt
You don't think
gum?
he's a double mint guy?
I don't know.
Big Red.
Big Red was always my brand back in the Wrigley days.
Also, this is a good time to point out that these two cops are Ted and Harry from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And
Dumb and
Dumber.
Dumber.
Yes, absolutely.
And his name is Harry in this movie also.
Yes, which confused the hell out of me every time he said it. I was like, is this the same universe? Is this possible that after
It's also not
Harry
clear.
got
Are
his
they
shit together.
SWAT team or bomb squad?
Yeah, I
or
have the
both.
exact same question.
But they
Bomb squad.
they ID
SWAT
themselves
squad.
as LAPD in
Yeah.
the elevator.
Yes, they're just generic.
He's also Keanu Reeves' character is everything in this movie. Like immediately he gets off the bus, and then who's the guy that they send underneath it to inspect the bomb? Guessed it.
Listen, this was back before they segregated the people into certain specific skill sets. This was a much more multidisciplinary Los Angeles Police
Yeah,
Department.
the LAPD was like that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
a lot of cross training.
well, one of the biggest stretches is like
Look at
he
this
knows.
fucking guy. He
Yeah.
This guy is supposed to strike fear in your heart throughout the movie.
You know the problem though is that you're not seeing the inside of his brain, which is scary and dangerous.
What
If
is
you're
it-
just looking at it, it's actually worked. His whole thing has worked. He looks like he's just some old dude with a busted thumb, and as it turns out, he's actually a maniacal genius, and you did not realize.
But like, here's the thing.
You'd
so, like,
underestimate him just like Harry did.
so he
He sounds like a
retired
fucking
from the
jerk.
police force with a pension, and
Well,
then
spoiler alert.
he thought about. Okay, well I'm spoiling.
Hey, I
it.
thought the point was that he didn't get his pension.
No, he did get his pension.
The pension
It
was
just
the
wasn't-
watch.
It wasn't enough.
and he never even
there's that
thought
hand.
about having that watch appraised. It was
No,
worth
but
millions.
isn't it that he specifically wants $3.7 million because that's what he has calculated that his pension should have been?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
He doesn't
It's a
Damn,
very
cops is getting it like
specific
that
He says
in the
amount.
90s?
Yeah. No.
But
kidding.
How much money was
I think
$3.7 million?
he might be great at
That's
making
probably like
bombs
10
and
million.
defusing bombs, but maybe he was just bad at math. And this whole thing is like, hey, they owed me
at how
this much,
fucking
and they're like,
stupid
no,
this guy
no,
looks.
no, that's a comma, not a period. Just move that over.
And that's because of the hand thing. Is that calculated in?
Yes, because
Also,
you get
so,
extra if you lose thumbs.
And then there's his whole monologue about how like he being on the bomb squad was meaningless for him because bombs were always supposed to explode because that's what they were quote made to do.
Yeah,
Which is like, is that his motivation? Like he
likes bombs. He does like.
okay.
Yeah, well, the whole, I think, driving essence of this movie is like that this guy wants money, but really he's sadistic. He just wants to kill people. And like
Yes.
they keep pointing out that even if they do this, even if they do that, he's still going to blow the bomb. And like he's still, he kills people. He stabbed that
Keanu's
guy in
still
the head.
chewing that gum.
Chewing it
man,
hard.
chewing it so hard.
It's yeah. I think we're supposed to gather that he's not a nice guy
Yes.
because of all the people he blows up.
Do you put like a thumbnail up next to these episodes? Because I want you to put a thumbnail of the fucking bad guy in this movie in the elevator looking around.
I don't
Not
think you
being
can
able
have
to
a
figure out
thumbnail
what
of
the fuck.
him lack of thumb.
Oh, true.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Dennis Hopper's voice is unsettling to me. It's like,
Also, I remember. I think I saw this movie with my dad, possibly, and he had a real problem because he hated the Dennis Hopper character because he thought that he was like, yeah, Dennis Hopper got all fucked up in the 70s doing all those drugs. And he was like, I don't think he's acting. I think he really is kind of fucked up like this. And this was also when he was doing those football commercials for the NFL. Where do you remember? Like, there's a point.
I don't think I saw those.
When he was doing the football commercial, he was playing like a crazy person who was impersonating a referee to sneak into stadiums and like steal memorabilia. This was an actual NFL sanctioned ad, but he'd like say crazy shit about football and like go on these like weird little monologues.
If you don't like football, you got blinders on to the world, man.
But like that's like this first of all, he disappeared for years. This in the NFL commercial were Dennis Hopper's like big comebacks. Like he had been gone for
I
years.
forget the Super Mario Brothers movie.
And my dad thought that he was actually an insane
That was a
person
classic.
and thought that all these commercials and stuff were just making fun of this random lunatic who lost his mind doing drugs as an actor in the 70s with Jack Nicholson.
It's called a career.
Yeah. But there is something very like insane about Dennis Hopper just as a persona.
This guy just lost his mind doing drugs. It's called a career, Dad.
He sacrificed to become a famous movie star. He didn't lose his mind. He gave his mind for
us.
Yeah. The least we can do is appreciate that shit.
So what do you guys think of this whole opening sequence with the elevator? I think it's good.
I think it's good.
Cool
like-
idea. It's idiotic,
I think-
but it's good.
I like how they attached the elevator to that crane, not knowing at all that the crane could hold it because it clearly can't.
Yeah.
Okay, but
How
also
strong is that elevator?
But also, yeah, like how many millions of pounds does this elevator weigh? Because A, the crane should hold it, and B, if the crane didn't hold it, you know when the crane would have snapped? When the elevator reaches its like the jerk point and has the most force applied to that crane, that's when it would break. Once they survive that, it should be stable. And yet it continues to potentially fall after it stops moving.
Look, back in the 90s, they didn't care about physics.
Back in the 90s, we didn't know
You'll be able to
physics.
tell. Watch when the crane. We haven't gotten there yet, but there's a part where the crane is like struggling with the elevator, and you can see like it's obviously some guy off camera like shaking the fuck.
Just shaking the crane. Yeah. I think
Before Mission Impossible.
I think the other thing about this sequence that's incredibly dumb is when after they save the people and they realize that Dennis Hopper's in another elevator somewhere and they have the drop on him, and yet still somehow Harry manages to almost get killed, fall into the elevator, lose his gun. That's when I start to think of the Dumb and Dumber thing and be like, is this Harry from Dumb and Dumber? Is that like he retired from the bomb squad and joined Lloyd because he's such a fucking idiot?
All these things you're saying though are what make this movie great. I feel like there's like every 2 minutes there, it's like upping the ante, and it's like
How dumb it could be.
the next sequence. Yeah,
Why are you standing over the hole, lady? There's an enormous hole in the elevator, and somehow she decides to stand directly over it and then almost fall out when it stops.
I mean, to her credit, it got blown open. Like she didn't know there was a hole there.
But if the floor that you were standing on blew out from under you, wouldn't you get the fuck away from that hole?
This
Maybe
movie
it's
also
her
has
shoes. She's got high heels or whatever. I don't know.
This movie also has an abundance of like stupid woman characters. Like you know, they're always like, I need off this bus right now.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Sparkle Motion.
Yeah.
Woman? What's that actress's name?
Yeah, she got blew up, and you know what? Nobody cared because she deserved it. Honestly, this lady in the elevator should have been cut in half because she deserved that shit too. No, this is a fact.
Okay.
If you are in a dire situation, in fear for your life, and you decide that you'd rather panic and do a dumb thing that will definitely get you killed rather than save yourself, that's just, Darwin is just, this is, you should not be allowed to exist and potentially
You heard it
procreate.
here first, folks. Harris has no beef.
Empathy.
We have no empathy. He has beef with panic.
No, I just have no empathy for people who are going out of their way to get themselves killed. I just don't think we should risk other people's lives to try to save people who are going out of their way to do something that will inevitably get them killed.
I wanted to see a real "see you at the party" Richter moment here, where someone's arms get chopped off in the elevator.
Yeah. They're trying to pull her out.
I love this shot. Yeah,
Just
that's
end up
great.
with the two arms in their hands.
That in there.
See you at the party, Richter.
I was watching this with Colleen, and there's a part where they're taking the hot woman out of the elevator, and
Yeah, you can
this
see
from
that
behind her.
ass.
You can see her panties, and Colleen just looked at me. She's like, "They had to keep that in, right?" And I'm like, "Yes."
There's a lot of those like little subtle sexually. There's one part where Keanu is like trying to find the fuse box or something, and he's digging down there under Sandra Bullock's
what you're
legs
talking
while
about,
she's driving.
Trying to find the fuse box.
And he's
There's
like,
a euphemism for you.
And Jeff
I always have a little trouble myself.
Jeff Daniels is on the radio, and he's like, "Do you find anything?" And he's like,
Hey, this chick looks
No, it's
like
clean.
Jeff Daniels.
"He goes, it's clean." And Sandra Bullock's like, "Huh?"
Yeah, I think that
Look at this
panty
chick's
shot.
face.
That panty shot, I think, was not intentional, but you believe me, when Jan De Bont got in the editing room and saw that, he was like,
We
it's
must
in the movie.
keep this. This is the essence of speed. I don't know what he sounds like. I assume that's what he sounds like.
Let's be real though. None of this movie makes any sense at all. Like,
No.
you're talking about like all these things that had to happen based on one premise. Like, oh, you know what would make a movie be an action movie is if the bus just had to keep going fast or blow up. And then that premise, that there's no human being that would like make any of that happen in real life. So they just had to make up a bunch of people so that there's actually people in the movie.
I mean, isn't that how most movies are made? Somebody thinks of a premise and they make up a bunch of shit. Yeah. All this shit's just made up.
Also, like,
why would you? Why would a person like? Okay, but if the bus goes slower than that, it's gonna blow up. But like, why would a person make that be?
because he's fucking with him. I kind of buy that, because if it was the first thing that happened in this movie, I'd be like, okay, why?
Yeah, exactly.
But because he's deliberately fucking with this character,
Yeah.
But so here's my thing though. Here's one of my many things about what's dumb about this movie is that if he actually wants to get paid, he should have more control over whether or not the bus explodes. And yet he's rigged it so he has no control over that shit. Bus could blow up at any time. In fact, if you say that if it goes above 50 miles an hour, it triggers the bomb, and if it goes below it detonates the bomb, then putting it on a bus that's going to get on the highway in Los Angeles almost guarantees the bus is going to blow up almost immediately.
Yeah.
There's like, they have to make this so ridiculous and unrealistic because they paint themselves into the corner of a situation that cannot possibly happen, because a bus would maybe get to 50 and then immediately get stuck in traffic.
There's also
And-
several
Well,
things the
one
bus
thing
does
that's
that a
fair
bus
is that-
cannot do at 50. What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, this guy is for sure down to blow anything up
Yes.
because he blew up the one bus like right in front of Keanu.
Yeah, maybe he had another. Maybe there's another bus with a bomb on it somewhere else. So he's just gonna keep on going through buses until.
As far as we know, he had bombs all over the place.
This is one of those like '90s action villains, like in the same vein as like a Castor Troy, who we just have to accept that they are evil on some level, and they are evil.
I kind of miss that.
Castor Troy looked like he was having fun though. This Dennis Hopper character,
Yeah, well,
seems deranged.
because Castor Troy knows he's evil.
Yes,
and, like,
yeah, he is. He's aware that he's a bad guy, and he likes it.
yeah.
I miss villains like that. Like I feel like villains today they're almost like not villains. They like they're doing like a just cause,
We
but
have
they're
to see their point of view. Well, it's so we can relate to them and actually kind of sympathize. I think
I just miss insanity.
yes, Joe. Yeah, well, like now, well, now we're very
You say
sensitive to
that,
that.
but then you watch a DC movie and you're like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is this villain doing?
Yeah. It could go off the rails very easily for sure.
you dummies! Don't stand on the roof of the elevator when the guy is in the elevator. Just move to the other.
I watched
So
Terminator 2 earlier today. It was on TV, and it has both Joe Morton and a scene where, like, with the roof of an elevator, like, people blasting things through a roof of an elevator.
Yeah,
I just
He's
realized.
just grabbing him by his boogers. And shit.
I love that.
yeah. Well, he
This
doesn't have a
this
thumb, so
guy's
he's got
fucked up, yeah.
There's no way he could get out of that booger lock.
Yeah, the booger lock. It's undefeated. I also love this part where they call back to what do you do if a guy's got a hostage at gunpoint, blah blah blah, and he's like, shoot the hostage in the leg, and they call back to it literally seconds later.
Yeah.
Like what is it, like 300 seconds after they have that conversation? They're in the exact same situation. It's the most impatient planted payoff in the history of cinema.
Yeah, it's true. That would have been cooler if they waited
They
till
do
the
it
end.
again
of
at the
movie.
end, though.
Also, his sole strategy here, like he just like, I mean, he has the Dennis Hopper. Somehow these two cops managed to give the upper hand to this handicapped elderly man, like immediately.
He's got no rhythm. He's got no fucking flexibility.
Yeah.
Just look at him.
Yep. All he's got is a powerful brain full of brain cells.
Now you can't tell by the way he talks.
No.
Do you guys know that this movie won 2 Academy Awards?
Yes, but not for any performances or creative thing.
It won for
Visual effects.
Best Sound Editing and Best Sound, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
really they didn't know what they were doing.
Visual
back then.
effects.
I don't think so.
Nope. Just sounded good. All the explosions sounded great.
I actually thought that the sound was a little lackluster. There's some places where people are like running down the stairs and shit. I'm like, I can't hear any feet.
That's right, folks. Academy got it wrong again.
I noticed a couple of ADR moments too.
Oh, yeah.
where-
Lots of them.
yeah.
I mean, I think
Where the lips are not at all. They didn't know in 1993 that we would be able to pause and rewind this shit over and over again in high
Well,
definition.
I heard from former podcast guest Jeannie Joe that all the bus stuff that they shot, they couldn't get good sound on because the bus was too loud. So they basically every conversation that happens on the bus is all ADR'd.
How did she know that?
This is her favorite movie, like
Oh,
one of her
what?
favorite movies. Yes,
Oh man. Well,
Why was she the
guest?
for Speed 2?
I don't know. She probably, if you had asked her, she probably would have declined.
Yeah.
Finds it too good to wreck it with a podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, this is, by the way, just not to harp on this particular dumb thing that they call back to the shoot the hostage in the leg moment, but also not only do they call back to a conversation that just happened, literally is fresh
it was
in
like
our
5
minds
minutes ago.
because it just happened. But not only that, but one of my favorite moments in the movie though, when Dennis
His
Hopper
evil
like
laugh.
stands and gives a laugh and turns around. But they call back to it, and Harry has to tell what's his name,
Jack?
to remind him to shoot the hostage. He literally has to say, shoot the hostage in the leg. And then he gets mad later when he shoots him in the leg. He's bitching about how I shot him in the leg. It's all just so dumb.
Okay, here's my question. How much time has passed? Now we're on the scene where they're like receiving their medals. How much time has passed from the event to this day right here?
It's got to be like weeks, right? At least.
I hope so. It feels like, because it's just kind of seamless and they don't address the passage of time, that it's like the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
But it has to be weeks, because in the very next scene or whatever, like he calls him on the payphone. He's got the whole bus thing. Like figured out. Like he's got the whole next phase. After he tells him, I worked on the elevator thing for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
But I
exactly.
slapped this bomb thing together pretty quickly.
It must have been a while because he's Harry's walking with a cane in this, so he's clearly it's not like the next day.
Yeah.
He'd be in a hospital for a while, be rehabbing that shit.
Do you guys know who wrote on this movie? Who did the last dialogue
Punch
pass?
up? No, I don't.
It's Mr. Joss Whedon.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a big script doctor at the time.
Shout out to Joss.
Yeah.
He's the one who came up with the pop quiz hot shot line. He he came up with the killing off of Jeff Daniels' character.
Good moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now the chief here was also in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And he had to hold on to a bomb
Yes.
Yep.
that he eventually let go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like?
Yeah, he's got a dead man switch moment in there.
I think he's much better in Terminator 2. This character, he's not doing a bad job here.
He
but
was the best actor in this whole movie, I thought.
yeah, he's doing it. But in Terminator 2, he's so good. Like,
Is he still alive? I feel like he doesn't get enough work.
yeah,
Yeah,
Where is
he
he?
was just in
He's always
Justice League.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
He
He was what's his
plays
name's father,
Cyborg's
the
father, yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's always good in everything.
Good in that.
I like Joe Morton.
Yeah, Jarale, do you like that? So the last movie we had you on had no black people. This movie has two, right?
The
Yeah,
bus
more
driver.
and the guy who drives the Jaguar.
Yeah, the
The
guy
bus driver.
Oh, the bus driver. Yeah, I
bus
forgot about
driver.
him.
Yeah.
Who gets shot? Oh, we haven't got. So this bus driver plays an amazing pimp in a movie with Snoop Dogg. I think it's called Paid the Cost to Be the Boss.
I've
And
never even heard of that movie.
He's fantastic in that movie. And I saw the movie, and maybe a week later, I saw the guy out in traffic with the same perm in his hair.
Oh, yeah, his hair is crazy.
Looking great.
He got a look.
Looking
He definitely has a
fantastic.
look.
He had a whole conversation with me as he was crossing the street. Really nice guy. I just thought I'd put that in there.
I think he's got a good look, and I could definitely see that being a pimp look too.
It sucks to see him. We haven't gotten there yet, but it sucks to see him getting shot in the movie
Yeah.
Yes.
so that
Mhm.
Sandra Bullock could take over the wheel.
Yes, he was a functionary of the plot.
This is not what Rosa Parks
Yeah.
went to shoot.
We also have the guy in the what kind of car is he driving? The
It's a Jaguar.
It's a Jag.
It's a
Yeah,
Jaguar
got the
Motorcar.
Jag. And he's the guy from Showgirls.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
You
you're
didn't
right.
realize that?
No,
License to-
I knew it. I just forgot.
And in this character, he's playing Sassy Black Man, which was a very popular character in the 90s, still is sometimes. Sassy Black character, because sometimes it's a black woman, but it's basically just has a wild reaction to everything. Just have big reactions to stuff.
And this guy right here, the bus driver who dies,
yeah, the
he's
original
in
bus
he's in Terminator too. I just watched today. Who was he? Wait,
Probably like one of the cops or something, right?
he is.
But like we talked about how unrealistic Keanu's character is. Why does he like go to this coffee shop and like know this
So he
guy
can mingle with the bus
personally?
driver?
Yeah, but like why does he know him so well personally?
Yeah,
Why
why
is
does
the bus
he know
driver
about
putting
that?
his gloves on?
Yeah, why does the bus driver need gloves? Why
How's
does
the bus
Keanu
driver
Reeves-
getting his coffee without ordering it?
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
that guy's familiar too.
They
The-
have-
the guy
How does
who
a
works
cop
there.
afford to live on the West Side?
Why did he forget his muffin and go back for that? Why was that necessary? Like what did that add to the scene?
Yeah. Why, when the bus explodes, does he not go investigate the bus and instead investigates a ringing payphone?
Now this is the best scene in the entire movie.
This shot is so cool.
When Keanu Reeves is running at the bus and the bus is blowing up again after having already blown up.
I mean, I still think the best shot in the movie is Dennis Hopper doing that weird little laugh just before he walks out the door. And he stops
this.
specifically to do the laugh and then turns around.
Look at this. This is great.
Yeah.
Keanu does not back down.
Pretty good stuff until
No.
he hears a payphone ringing and then he's like, fuck that bus, gotta check
Well-
out this
well, he
payphone.
He looks
You
inside
don't
and
see- he
sees
looks
everyone's dead
in,
first.
and he sees that his friend is dead, and he's like, "Oh, Jesus!
Oh, it
geez.
smells like
no.
bacon.
Yeah,
Oh,
it does.
everywhere.
Oh,
it
God.
just smells like, it actually doesn't smell bad. It's like barbecue. Oh, I hate that I like
Ew.
this so much. Oh, man. I feel guilty that my mouth is watering, but where is a barbecue place around here?
So gross. Yeah. So I don't know. Why
And
wouldn't
he just knows.
Why wouldn't
his
he pick up the
rings.
phone? Yeah.
Look at how intense he gets. I know what the fuck is going on here.
he lives in this world already. if you're living in the like 90s action movie world where there's like evil bomber guys, you just saw something get bombed and a payphone rings, you pick it up.
The whole movie.
I think the fact that we saw that he owns a car in this scene, which is what really throws me off, because that really makes me think, how does he know this fucking bus driver? The man owns a car.
Yeah, because he always just happens to go to the coffee shop where he knows that
They're
guy.
coffee shop friends.
Yeah.
Coffee shop.
But like that's still a huge stretch.
They both go there. They both go there with little fedoras and their laptops, and they work on their screenplays together after they get off work. That's where they know each other from. they're both aspiring screenwriters. They're actually in a writers group. Him and the bus driver.
Maybe
They meet at the coffee. No, I'm serious. That's really what happens. They all
Not
know each other.
1993.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Right. No laptops. Typewriters. They sit at the coffee shop with their typewriters. They write it longhand on legal pads.
I think I was wrong about that guy being in Terminator 2, but you know what he was in that we saw recently? He was in Naked Gun 3 in the scene.
Oh, yeah, he was the mobster.
Yeah,
At
Mr.
the
Big.
beginning. Yeah. Oh, my God. Small world.
Yep, that's the license to watch connection right there.
Should I summarize the plot of this thing or attempt to? There's so much plot. Should I just do it?
Now would be the time to do it.
All right. Somebody get 2 minutes on the clock for me, please. And I will summarize. I like how Colin looked like he was reaching for a clock, but he was actually reaching for candy. All right. Feed your fat face, fatty. Sure. Offer the candy to everyone who isn't doing a plot summary right now.
All right, you ready, Harris?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, on your mark, get set, go.
Okay, we open with generic business people in an elevator, and the elevator starts to fail and falls, and there's a bomber who calls the cops and tells them that the elevator is going to fall if they don't give him millions of dollars. So the SWAT team and or bomb squad and or both show up, and Harry and Ted are two cops in the bomb squad, and they rescue the people from the elevator at the last minute, and then they realize the bomber must be in the building, and they go down, and somehow he gets the drop on them, and they end up getting caught, and Ted has to shoot Harry in the leg, and then the bomber blows up, and everyone, what are we laughing at? I missed it.
We have to interrupt. Hold on. We have to interrupt. There's trivia popping up on the screen.
Who knew this? Who knew this before we saw that just now?
I did not. I never
thought
considered
about
that. The trivia said 25 plus 25 equals 50, which is the
50 miles per hour, and then it just said 50 miles per hour.
that's the speed that the bus can't go below.
What was it?
Because the bus number is 2525.
Oh.
It's bus number 25.
Oh, I see. I just thought they were doing math, and I was like, thank you, because I'm not great at math.
As if the director was like, the bus number must be 2525 because according to my math, 25 plus 25 is 50.
You know what's funny? The bus they were renting was actually bus number 25 or 2030, and he was like, "Nope, not good enough. Change it. It's got to be 25 even." All right, I'm ready. Where was I?
Oh,
We don't know.
I forgot to stop it.
Okay, well, let's just keep going. Okay, so so they think the bomber blew up because they don't realize they're only in the first act of this movie. And then they all celebrate, and Ted and Harry get medals. And then Ted's getting coffee at a coffee shop, and he's saying hi to his friend, a bus driver from his writers group. And then that guy's bus blows up, and a payphone's ringing, and it's a bomber, and he says there's a bus somewhere else that's going to blow up if it goes over 50 and then under 50. So Ted speeds into action. He finds the bus, and he gets and he has to hijack a car because he just misses it. Before it gets on the highway. So he gets in the car with a sassy black guy who has a lot of colorful expressions for when things go wrong, and he gets onto the bus, and then the bus driver gets shot by this bad hombre who is a very cliche character who thinks the cops are there for him. And then, so that means Sandy Bullock has to take over the bus driving responsibilities. And then a lot of stuff happens where it's kind of just like filler, but it's like one thing after another of them just trying to keep this bus over 50 miles an hour on the LA freeway, which is tough because there's a lot of traffic. And they try to defuse the bomb, and they can't. And then they find out that they get the bomb onto like a part of the highway that isn't opened, and they think they're home free, but then they realize it's not finished, and the bus has to jump over this section of road. It's the most physically improbable car stunt that's ever happened in any movie ever. And then they get to the airport, And they start running the bus around the airport in this open area, and they realize how to cut into the CCTV system and put the camera on a loop so the bomber doesn't know that it's that he can't see them. And they get all the people off the bus, and the bus crashes, and Sandy and Ted are the last people on it, and they get off on this little rolling. They get off on like a door of the bus, and they end up. They're about to make out. Did they actually make out there? I don't know. And then later,
Not at the bus. They make it at the train.
yeah, they later the bomber still wants his money, and they don't realize that he's kidnapped Sandy, and they get on a train, and the train is also speeding, and eventually Ted comes and saves the day and rescues Sandy, and then the train crashes, and then they make out when they finally survived, and Dennis Hopper gets his head cut off.
And everybody like gathers around while they make out, and I think, do they start clapping, or is that?
I think they applaud
That was
because
my
everyone
imagination.
loves to watch other people make out. This
Yes.
is a fact. People love watching strangers making
is
out.
that?
So if you're at the bar right now on a third date and it's going well, definitely just
Listening
start
to this
sucking face
podcast.
right there at the bar because everyone loves that.
What was that writer that liked to end movies with like just people clapping like on screen? It was like one
Everybody
of the Mission
in the
Impossible.
90s.
Yeah, it was everyone in the 90s.
One of the Mission Impossible movies just ends with them all like just clapping. I forgot.
Oh, I think it's the third one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
How does the third one end?
That's the J.J. Abrams one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it ends in the office where where everyone just applauds them making out in
Yeah.
the office. Yes,
We need some more of that.
very good. Not enough of that.
Yeah.
What else has Graham Yost done? Because he did Justified, which I love. It's
Yes.
one of my favorite TV shows.
Are you
Such a
talking about
good
the
show.
other cop?
No, the writer.
Oh.
The writer, yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And this is the only other thing that I know him for offhand.
I
I
think
like
he
that you
did-
call Keanu Reeves Ted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
sure.
like, who's Ted?
Went
Yeah.
with your
Bill and
nicknames
Ted.
because I was having trouble remembering his name from this movie. Although it is
Travins.
Travis.
His last name is Travins or something
Oh,
like that.
Travis. Well, that's even harder to remember. No, his name is Jack in this because he's always
Jack
like a
or
Jack
Joe.
or a John or a Joe or whatever. They just talked about this on Script Notes last week of why all action movie characters are named Jack or some other name similar to Jack, because it's like inoffensive, old-fashioned American, but it's also like a strong,
Yeah.
all-American kind of name. And Jack has that hard K sound at the
It's
end.
also a
which is-
tool. And, you want a real tool in that.
Everyone
rigmarole.
likes a real tool.
All right, here's some of the movies that he wrote. Obviously, this movie next up was Broken Arrow, the John Travolta, also a movie that is nonsensical but
Yes,
awesome.
but awesome. And John Woo's
Yeah.
follow up to his
Hard Target.
Hard Target, his American debut.
Then he did Speed 2. Oh, no, sorry. He just was credited for the characters. Firestorm. Is that with
Howie Long.
Howie Long? Yeah.
Oh my God! So he's
also in Broken
he did
Arrow.
Broken Arrow, and he was like on the Howie Long train. He was like, I am all aboard the Howie Long action movie star train. Which, by the way, I was when I saw Broken Arrow. My big takeaway from that was Howie Long could be an action star, and then I saw Firestorm, and I was like, oops.
You've said that to us about Howie Long. I cannot say how many times.
I
but
can't
like
remember-
A ton of times.
I can't remember
You
how-
always say Howie Long was great in
Every
Broken
time we
Arrow.
talk about Broken
Yeah.
Arrow, probably because he was a great bad guy in Broken Arrow.
I can't remember how long ago it was that you told us that.
Yeah.
See,
Exactly.
Colin, that's how it's done.
Then he wrote a movie called Hard Rain.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
with Morgan Freeman and
It's a Ridley Scott
Christian
movie?
Slater.
Yeah.
I don't remember who he might have produced it.
Maybe,
It's about a heist that takes place during like a flood.
Yeah, that's Die Hard in a Flood, right?
Yeah, it's Die Hard in a Flood. Exactly, it's Die Hard in a Flood.
Yeah, it's not as good as Chubby Rain though. Does anyone know that reference?
I'm gonna get you. What was it?
Gonna get you, sucker.
Gonna get you, suckers.
Have you seen Bowfinger?
Bowfinger is the
Jarale?
best.
Matt, you haven't seen Bowfinger?
Wait, which one's Bowfinger?
It's the one with Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin.
No, I haven't seen
Oh
that.
my God, what an oversight.
They-
Do we need a bonus movie for this franchise?
Sure.
Because that should be it.
In Bowfinger, they make a movie called Chubby Rain, and it's about aliens hiding in the raindrops.
It is the
to
best.
possess people.
It is the best behind the scenes Hollywood movie ever made.
It's so good.
And I don't think it's even close. It's a winner.
Should I keep going with the things that this
Yeah,
guy
keep on
wrote?
telling me about Graham Yost's career.
Mission to Mars.
Oh yeah,
That was one of the many Mars movies that came out.
Was that the Brian De Palma one, or was that the one that competed with the Brian De Palma?
Is that the one with the robot
This is the
dog?
Brian De Palma one.
Is that the one with the robot dog?
I think so.
Okay.
Gary Sinise one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gary Sinise.
Yep. Then he also wrote.
Wow, I feel like Graham Yost's movies might be career enders for people who are just breaking out. Because I feel like that was the one where everyone realized Gary Sinise was not a leading man either.
Oh, we just passed one of a huge plot hole in this movie. The first thing he says to the bus driver is "bomb on bus."
Yes. Oh,
if any
super
bus
dumb.
driver got that
Super
message,
dumb.
they would slam on the brakes immediately.
He eased off of the brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
He
It's
went
like
fast.
This is actually another really great scene in the movie because when I'm watching this movie, I'm like, how the fuck is he gonna get on that bus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what he does is he breaks the door off of this poor guy's car.
Yep.
Talking about, do you have insurance? Are you insured?
This poor music executive's car. I assume because his license plate says Tune Man.
I'm pretty sure the
got
claim
the glasses.
wouldn't
Yeah,
go against this
definitely.
guy's personal insurance. It'd be like against the LAPD's insurance, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm watching this scene and I'm thinking, I like Keanu Reeves' shirt. It's pretty cool.
I love the shirt.
Right?
The
Isn't it-
outer shirt. Oh man, it looks so comfortable.
Very 90s.
Yeah.
And
Are
also,
these-
this guy's not wearing a seatbelt. He would just fly out of the car and die when his car crashed into those things.
And
Are
there's
those
no
things-
reason he would have he would have been able to avoid hitting that stuff. We just
Absolutely.
as an action movie
This
audience,
movie
we want to
does
see a car
really
hit
good
something.
job of making sure that no casual people die, except for that one lady who tries to get off the bus.
Her fault. Not a casual person. She brought that on herself.
Yes.
Also, are those canisters really filled with water? I think they're filled with sand.
It
Yeah,
depends.
like if you're on the freeway, I think.
I think it depends. I think some of them are. I don't know.
Yeah. They do have it.
I'm trying to remember what the one in Out of Sight was filled with, because that's the other movie that springs to mind where they hit one of those. Also, similar to the guy could have easily steered away from those things, except that they needed another car crash in the movie. Keanu Reeves could have easily jumped the distance between the car and all the way up those steps. He literally lays out a little bit and kind of half-asses it just so his legs can dangle and it can be slightly more dramatic.
Man,
The crazy part is how hard it was for him to get on the bus, and then that scene at the end where he's like, "I'll be right back," and it's just one really smooth step. To get off.
Remind me to never produce an action movie with Harris. Like, I'll be like, yeah, and then this car needs to explode. And Harris will be like, it wouldn't explode. He could easily veer to the left and avoid it.
I would just be like, can we need to sell it. We need to sell the explosion. We can't make it look like it could have easily avoided it.
We're at the cool dude moment here.
Yeah.
We're just a couple of cool dudes.
I love some of the dialogue that goes on.
This
on
dialogue
this
is terrible.
bus. Starts calling the guy
everybody
Gigantor.
on the
I love
bus.
that.
Yes. And you know, the part of the problem is sometimes you can get away with bad dialogue if you've got great actors that can really sell it.
But they don't have great actors.
The actors in this bus are all like,
The bus driver is a great actor.
yeah, this is, like some of these actors are okay, but most of these actors are actors that just kind of, they're like TV actors.
What about
Or
Alan
they're-
Ruck?
They're TV actor. TV actor Alan Ruck? Yes, I'm familiar with his TV resume. Spin City.
Spin City was
Many years. He's great on Succession right now. He's wonderful on Succession. I don't think Alan Ruck's a bad actor, but you need to give Alan Ruck stuff to work with. You know, you can't just say, "Here, Alan Ruck, here's some bad dialogue. Make it sound great." The people on
I
this
thought
bus
this
are a bunch
guy-
of people.
The creepy guy that was hitting on Sandra Bullock, I thought that was Ed Norton for a second.
Yeah, see? He didn't even know it wasn't Ed Norton. That's great. That's some great Alan Ruck acting. You're talking.
Could have
You're
been Ed
talking-
Norton.
You're
Yeah.
you're underselling Alan Ruck and what he's done here.
My takeaway from this movie is, wow, Alan Ruck is not good enough to sell bad dialogue. That was it. It was like, I would have thought Alan Ruck was a great actor, and then I hear him delivering these lines, and I'm like, oof, boy,
You said
rough going.
you said that you thought that Star Trek Generations was the best movie you've ever seen, solely on the one scene that has Alan Ruck in it.
A bit of trivia. I read that Alan Ruck's character was not supposed to be a tourist. He was originally supposed to be a lawyer, like a seedy, shitty lawyer character who you wanted to die, and then he was going to die, and then it was going to be like
Do you feel like you want him?
satisfactory.
Do you feel like you want him to die more as a tourist?
Now that I live in LA, I'm like, kind of, yeah, what are you even doing on a bus? Take a cab. You're on vacation, for Christ's sake.
What is that bridge? Is that the 6th Street Bridge or something?
Oh, yeah.
It's some kind of
I feel like
bridge.
they could have figured this out a lot sooner.
What city is this?
I also love that it's LA, like, because the traffic here is like people know that it's bad.
Notoriously bad. Like, the highways never look like this highway looks right now.
Never.
If you can, like, the only time I ever can go above 50 on the highway is in the middle of the night, and then everyone is going 80 because everyone's like, there's no traffic. It's 3 in the morning. If you're sober, just go 90. It doesn't even matter.
There's no cops on these things ever.
Cops don't even care.
They go down Western at some point. Western.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
This
It's
You're
remarkable.
going 50 on Western in a bus? Get the fuck out of here.
You're lucky if you're going
what I
30
thought
on
was
Western.
What I thought was really crazy about this movie is that if they here's the part where
He goes between her legs and finds
we
fuse
don't have
box.
the
Keanu was
subtitles
on. All in
I
Sandra
thought I
Bullock's
put 'em
last
on.
year.
You put the trivia on.
That's what I did. I put the trivia. I don't want to turn the trivia off.
Leave it.
What I thought was really crazy about
But believe
this
me,
movie
as we've made very clear, nothing they're saying is worth knowing about.
is that if the bus would have just never went over 50,
Yeah.
if he would have
Then
just
there's
got
no
to the
movie.
bus before they went over 50.
Yep.
I've never
Everybody
seen a
could've
bus
just got
go
off
over
the
50 in LA.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not sure if they do. I don't know if they're capable of it. Have you ever seen a bus in LA that seemed like it was in good working order and could drive above 50 miles an hour? I don't spend a lot of time on them, but they are not the ideal pristine machines.
If they made this today, would they use one of those accordion buses just so that it could be like flailing its tail?
And it could
or-
like
Yeah,
split in
exactly.
half at
Yeah,
some
like,
point. Yeah.
Does both of the parts of the bus have to go above 50?
Also, it's like a missed opportunity that the bus isn't bright orange like they are now.
Yeah.
Well, this is what they used to look like.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna ask, did they really have those fucking like big ass numbers on the top of the bus? Who was
I
that
think
for?
they
Those
did.
I think
numbers
they
on the
did,
top
yeah.
of the bus.
Yeah, I think they still do. I think it's so helicopters can see them. So like the traffic reports and the police, if somebody hijacks them and makes them go above 50.
Because that happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, not before this movie, but it started a trend. Now everyone's doing it.
This movie came out like the same weekend that the O.J. Simpson chase happened.
Yeah.
So it was like a big weekend for like freeway chases.
Isn't he driving a Bronco when he's driving his personal car? It's not the same. It's like an older Bronco, but I think Keanu Reeves' car is a Bronco.
Are you saying that Keanu Reeves gave OJ the idea to murder his wife and get in a police chase in a Bronco?
I'm not saying that.
That's a
Allegedly.
bold take.
Are you blaming it all on Keanu
Allegedly.
Reeves?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, Keanu Reeves gave him the idea, but he did that shit. Classic.
Sandra-
This
Sandra
would
Bullock.
not. This would not work. The turn they go on literally says like you have to go 25 miles per hour or you'll
Just to
tip
make
over.
the turn, yes.
Yeah. And
Well,
they
they
go-
almost tip over, so I guess that's part of it. They're on two wheels at one point.
It's okay.
Yeah, I like that part where he's like, everybody get on this side of the bus.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, they're literally hitting other cars, and somehow that doesn't keep them below 50.
Yeah, all this stuff slows you down if
Yes.
you like run into things.
Yeah, you're not supposed to run into. If you're just barely going above 50 miles an hour and you start hitting stuff, you will end up below 50 miles. Like that bus did not look like it was going 50 miles an hour. It
Yeah,
looks-
there's some shots where it's like clearly not going
Yeah.
fast.
And and this is another thing like about the shitty female characters in this movie. Like even Sandra Bullock, who's given the most to do, still she can't do anything without Keanu saving her ass. You know, like he's got to stick his foot on her foot. Like she knows she can't go under 50.
I don't know what they're claiming she's able to do behind the wheel of a bus is like pretty incredible. Like she's got a gift.
But yet every big moment he
This
goes
motherfucker
and
watching
grabs
football, eating a sandwich.
He really loves Coca-Cola
Drinking
out
a
of a
little
glass
Coke.
bottle. Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
This
Yep.
is just for like fat old white guys to feel like, yeah, we could be anything.
We can get the power back
We could be anything.
if we wanted to.
If we just blew up
If
more
we just blew up
buses?
more buses, we could definitely get the power back. No, every time
problematic.
Every time Sandra has to do something with the bus in this movie, Keanu like helps her grab the wheel or press her foot on the gas or shields her. The worst is when they do the jump. And at the last minute, he grabs her and like tackles her to protect her.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Let her focus on the fucking landing the jump, you know? Like
I kind of agree, but didn't notice because of
not
their.
actually doing shit while the bus is
Yeah.
while
Yeah.
the bus is going.
I kind of agree, but didn't notice because of their
Chemistry.
Yeah.
As somebody who's seen both Speed 1 and Speed 2 recently, I will say the chemistry is fucking important. Whatever chemistry they have in this movie, it does so much work that is not getting done if you sub Keanu Reeves with a, say, Jason Patrick type.
That was like one of my first memories of this movie. When I saw it the first time, I was like, oh, they're good together.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was like,
Nope, that is true. That is absolutely a selling point of this movie. I think it's something that works.
This is the least amount of acting that I think I've ever seen Sandra Bullock do in a movie.
Yeah.
She's like, her eyes don't move. She's actually really calm every time that I see her.
And
It's always like a little half smile and a little bit of a smirk, and she's got a little joke to go. She's not panicked at all.
yeah, not taking this too seriously. She's still wisecracking.
yeah, the vibe. Yeah, it's weird how the vibe is that like she has like some kind of gift for like this. Like no person should be able to just take over the wheel of a bus and like.
Well, she did get a ticket for speeding.
That's true. Yeah, that is
not
part
too
of her
long before
backstory.
this.
Yeah, they make that more of her backstory in the sequel, but in this one, it's just sort of mentioned casually. Watch after
This
when
is
she thinks
another great
when
scene.
she thinks she ran over the baby. This is where you get the most acting out of her, and it's still not a lot of acting.
It's not a lot at all, no.
Is this peak Sandra Bullock? This era?
All Sandra Bullock.
This is
peak.
like
No.
I think this is the start
What's
of
the one where she's the cop, but she's hot?
Demolition Man?
Oh, she was good in Demolition Man. Yeah,
and Miss Congeniality. I think that's
Are we
I-
talking about acting or how good she looks?
I think let's just call it star power. So it's sort of a combination of the two. It's
Yes.
the best
fucking cop out.
coordinated.
the fuck.
Yeah. And he just keeps on selling her. It's cans. It's cans.
It's like, don't
It's
worry.
like, what does that mean? The baby is cans? Explain that more. Articulate it.
Don't worry, a wizard turned the baby into cans at the last second. Twisted evil wizard.
Now, if that road was covered in baby, would he still have the presence of mind to say it's cans? Because
Colin, this is like
that's
right by your old apartment.
There's
right here.
yeah, there's people's whose lives depend on her not freaking out now. So like, even if you're like, that was the most inside of a baby I've ever seen, you still have to be like, it was just cans.
What
it
is
was
this
bloody,
teacher
messy
doing?
cans.
What is this teacher doing?
Like, you didn't just see them cops roll by?
I know.
Yeah,
This
seriously.
shot right here. Do you recognize that Bank of America? That's like right by your old place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
we're playing identify spots in LA.
Every
We've all seen
LA
before.
movie, I do this. I watch it and I'm
Oh, I love
like,
that.
I'm constantly looking up like where filming locations are. I don't know why, but it's so interesting to me. Yeah.
You gotta love that.
Because we all know this.
That's like San Vicente
yeah,
right
San
there.
Vicente. Everyone's driven on this a million times. It's the only street with that wide a boulevard that has like that's set up like that, where the building's that low. Yeah, this is very interesting for the listeners.
I
at
just
home.
watched,
Just know, guys, especially those of you who don't live in LA, we know all these streets.
I just watched Knocked Up. It was on TV the other day, and at the end, the very last shot of the movie is them driving onto the PCH in Santa Monica, and they're talking about how they live in East LA, and they're like going to East LA, and they're clearly going like the wrong way. Yeah.
No way those guys are in East LA trying to shoot their movie.
That was like when we did the Lethal Weapon movies and they made it appear that you could go to any place in like the greater Southern California area in like
Easily.
15 minutes or so.
including Las Vegas at one point. Yeah.
Now they're on Olive.
This is the big turn thing. It's funny because it's like you can sort of see the writing exercise of making this movie of like, okay, the entirety of your second act is going to take place in a speeding bus that can't go under 50 miles an hour. What do we do? What can we throw in their path to make this exciting and not bullshit? Well, they try to defuse the bomb and he's got to go under the bus. And then they, have to, they think they ran over a baby. And then they have to get off an exit and get onto the surface streets. And then they have to get back on a highway, but the turn is too tight. And then the highway isn't built yet, so they have to jump the bus. It's like one thing after another, just of like,
That is like, I feel like what makes the movie as good as it is. It's the writing exercise. Like,
It's the
we don't
escalation.
know we don't know how it's gonna happen,
Right.
and I'm willing to bet that the writers didn't know how the fuck it was gonna happen when they got to this point in the script.
but just throw one obstacle after another, which is kind of every action movie. I mean, it's every script, but every action movie script specifically is like throw one problem after another in their path of like a simple story of like they want to get from point A to point B. They want to save this guy. They want to steal this money, whatever it is. Just how much shit can go wrong to prolong what is a fairly simple story of, X wants Y and, needs this to get it.
I think for me, I think it works. I think this is a reason why this movie was a hit. It's like it just keeps moving and it keeps escalating. Now looking back on it, really for me, the only eye roll moment is when, and it's cool. It's the coolest part of the movie when the bus jumps over the like.
Because they don't even sell it. It just looks, even when you see it happening, you're like, no, that's not possible.
It just like turns it like goes like this, the front like raises.
It hits something which should slow it down, but actually somehow propels it up in the air and it makes a jump that.
Here's a trivia question: was the 105 actually unfinished in 1993?
I believe it was.
One of the trivia that popped up on the screen before said that they opened the freeway 5 days after this movie wrapped.
Yeah, because that's how they got to shoot this.
Interesting.
They were like,
this
it's like
whole movie is really just an advertisement for the 105 freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so popular that everyone drove on it. And the subway, yes. And the LA subway. Thank God we got that in
but not
function.
the
No.
MTA. For some reason.
Anything post like 2001 that takes place like with a lot of driving, they usually shoot now at that, like for the Matrix, they built like a 3 mile stretch of highway in Australia. Remember that whole sequence in the Matrix? Yeah.
That's the Matrix 2.
Matrix 2, yeah.
Matrix Reloaded, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, don't insult the original Matrix by implying that any part of the Matrix 2 was in it. Although, honestly, that was like the best part of the movie, that highway, the highway
freeway.
scene.
Oh, yeah.
The freeway stuff was the only fun part of it. It did last for like 40 minutes, which is way too fucking long, but yeah.
I used to work at Radio Shack back then, and I used to put that scene on in the store on loop because it would like sell like sound systems,
Yeah,
it was sick. Yeah,
That was, I think, when the first like HD like TVs were out. They used to do the first Matrix movie like to sell Blu-rays and HD TVs, because I will tell you what, when the elevator blows up in the lobby and the flames fly out, like I remember the first time I saw that on an HD TV and a Blu-ray, I was like, I need this thing to happen. I don't even think I'd seen The Matrix at that point. I think I was just like, I'm in on this movie. I'm in on this setup. I want all this stuff. I didn't think I needed it. I do.
Yeah. So Sandra Bullock. What else has she done up to this point besides Demolition Man?
The Net?
That was
Net
after.
rules. I know you guys
Wait, The
don't
Net
like
was
that
after
movie.
this?
Yeah,
I know you guys follow-up. Her follow-up to this was The Net?
I think so.
Boy, if I would have been selling my Sandy stock so fast if that was the 2 movies in a row, I'd be like, oh my God, she's getting worse.
I feel like she's in.
She's in Practical Magic, Love Potion #9.
Isn't she in that
Demolition
movie
Man.
with Bill Pullman where he goes into a coma?
Oh, yeah.
Are you
While
talking
were
about
sleeping.
While You Were Sleeping?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I love, like, all of you know that I've seen While You Were Sleeping like 10 times.
Peter Gallagher. She's pretending
Peter
to be in love
Gallagher's
with
the
Peter
coma
Gallagher.
guy. Yeah.
Guys, this is a first. I think this is a first for the show. We
Oh,
just
wow.
got French
Wingstop
fries
has arrived
and wings delivered to
mid-show.
us via our guest. Wow.
Oh my God.
And we just can't stop saying wow. This section of the podcast brought to you by Wingstop.
Wingstop. If you're going all the time, you need to stop and get some wings.
Great.
Yeah. Troy Aikman does Wingstop commercials in Texas, I think. So basically, me and Troy Aikman are the same.
But who's the better quarterback?
Me.
Are these like garlic fries or something? There's some flavor to them.
No, they just have the regular
Spicy. You're going to hear a lot of munching, chewing.
Anyway, all this
Swallowing.
shit that's going on, my man never called up and asked for his fucking money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This
Like-
is a lot of time to go without getting your fucking
It's like,
bread.
I'm going to let it play out. I'm
What
gonna
is
see what happens.
What is the part of the plan for, like, if the bus goes under 50 and does blow up, how does he still demand
This is
the
what I was
money?
saying before. I brought this up
I know.
half an hour ago.
I know, but, like, what do you think
Well,
that part of the
I
plan
thought we
was?
settled that he just has like more bombs and more buses.
Okay.
Just has bombs all over town.
He's got 10 more bombs after this, but I mean, if you got this far, I feel like right now you should be like, yo, so
And-
what's up with that 3.7 mil?
If he really wants to
Yeah, seriously.
If he really wants to torment these 2 cops also, why doesn't he put the bomb in the police station?
or on one of them.
Yeah.
Put it like, now run. And if you drop below 3 miles an hour, boom.
There's a bomb in your butt. If you take a shit.
Speaking of sequel ideas, they somehow passed on stupidly. They went with cruise ship instead of anus.
Wow.
Is this the apocalypse? What's going on?
That was
Yeah.
like the lowest,
Yeah, we
loudest
just
helicopter.
got buzzed
Just
by a police helicopter.
Literally
They-
was vibrating my clitoris. Over
They
there.
were like, is this the part where they let the driver off the bus and the lady jumps off and gets blown up? They're trying to watch through the window. Sorry, cops. This is a private viewing.
This woman was in everything in the 90s.
Yeah.
She still does. Yeah.
She was in The Office. She's in
The woman who gets blown up, the woman who freaks out, and she always plays this character.
Yeah, and annoying, like,
I always think of her
I
in
don't think she's that old. I think she's
Donnie
like
Darko.
hippie old. She just doesn't dye her hair. She's like 35.
yeah.
I always think of her in Donnie Darko when she goes up to the door and she's like, I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
That's probably her most famous thing. We should top 4 her. Speaking of top 4.
top for her. I'm totally not eating fries.
Speaking of top 4, I think it is time.
What's her name?
Oh, we should do Dennis Hopper too.
Oh, let's
That
do
would be
Dennis,
good.
Dennis Hopper first.
We've never done it.
Let's just not do Sandy
Hopper.
Bullock because we got to save her for the next one.
Save her for Speed 2. We can do it with Jason Patrick.
Let's start with Dennis Hopper.
Or you know who else is in Speed 2? One Willem Dafoe.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right.
Playing the most classic 90s bad guy looking 90s bad guy. It's like they weren't even trying. More on
William
that next
Dafoe is a
episode.
fucking bad guy.
Yes, in real life, I think. There's no way you walk around looking like him
I bet
without
he's-
being kind of evil.
I bet he's so
That's a fucking
so
bad
nice.
guy right there.
Oh, I bet he has to be so nice so that people don't immediately understand how evil he is. Like, well, we can all clearly see into your soul, so you're going to have to treat us right to make up for that.
All right.
All right, let's go. Top
Who are
4.
we top
Dennis Hopper.
four?
Who's first?
Guest goes first.
What's happening?
We are playing top 4. So, according to IMDb, what is one of Dennis Hopper's top 4 movies that he's known for?
Speed.
Speed is correct.
Good guess.
That
Good
is
guess.
correct.
I should go with a different one, but I'm going Waterworld.
Waterworld is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Should go with a different one. That movie rules.
I'm going to go with Easy Rider.
Easy Rider's correct.
That was the one I was going
That
with.
is correct.
All right, now it gets tricky.
One
I think
more.
those are all the easy ones.
Speed.
Speed has already been guessed.
Who the fuck is Dennis Hopper?
The bad guy in
The bad guy.
I'm saying outside of this. I have no clue.
That's a good point. I am going to go with the Stuntman.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Wrong.
I'm going to say Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet
Oh, good one.
is correct.
Damn, I
That
feel
is
bad. I should've gotten that.
correct.
Good job, Matt.
Yo, these wings look bomb.
I actually do know that.
All right, now we're guessing that
He's
that
the
random
Pabst
lady.
Blue Ribbon guy.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna do her.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, give me a second. Her name is
Wait, we're not going to do Alan Ruck.
her name is Beth Grant. We'll do Alan Ruck. Just give it some time. Beth Grant, top 4.
Is her top 4 any good?
Well, 2 of them have been said already. Oh, and like the other 2 movies are very good movies.
All right, guess goes first.
He's like looking her up.
You're cheating.
You can't cheat.
They don't know. Shut up.
Just guess this movie again.
He brought,
Donnie
Gerald
Darko.
brought us this food.
Donnie
He can
Darko
cheat.
is correct.
All right, I'm going with
That
Speed.
is
Speed is correct.
That is correct.
Donnie Darko and Speed. I know.
And only 8 lines in all those movies.
In one of, well, let's
Any
do the
TV?
hit, let's do
It's
the
all
hit
movies.
rounds early.
Okay.
In one of these movies, she plays Carla Jean's mother,
Oh shit!
and another one of these movies.
Oh, I know that one. I know that one.
Another one of these movies has Steve Carell in it, who she also appeared in The Office with.
Yeah, you're the Carla Jean's mother. I don't even remember that being the character's name, but that's the movie that I always think of her from, except for today when we've been talking
Well, it's
about
not your
it, 'cause I have
time to
Speed in the
guess
brain.
yet.
Yeah, but it will be my time, and that's when I shine.
What was the second clue? That she's in a movie with who?
Steve Carell.
Is it
Steve Carell and the Riddler.
The Riddler?
Oh, I know that one too.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine is correct.
That is correct.
All right.
That hint was too good. I'm sorry.
If you have a guess for where she plays Carla Jean's mother, go. Otherwise, pass, and I will get this over with.
Woody Harrelson is in this movie. Yeah, right?
Oh, now I'm confused.
He goes into the guy's office in the one part. It is not a Wes Anderson movie. It is a Coen Brothers movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, right. Good job.
No Country for Old Men is
I
correct.
thought it was going to be the
That
Devil's
is
Advocate.
correct.
Well, you're wrong.
was she the lady's mother? Was she Charlize Theron's mother in Devil's Advocate? Though I feel like she was.
I need Google to answer that.
I don't think so.
Who is that actress? Because that actress has the same vibe, the same too religious vibe.
Just please give me some time to
That was
fact
Meryl
check
Streep.
you.
Get Alan Ruck going, or Jeff Bridges.
I'm fast checking your.
No, don't check that. Nobody gives a shit who played the mother in Devil's
Okay,
Advocate.
Mrs. Alex Lomax is who you're talking about. Was played by Judith Ivey.
No, well, let's find out what Judith Ivy's done. Let's do top 4 of Judith Ivey.
She was also in Flags of Our Fathers.
Let's not do this.
Women Talking.
Why are we
and
doing this?
A Life Less Ordinary.
You're the only one who wants to do this.
Whatever.
Women talking? I just saw that.
Yes, you did.
Do you remember? Was
Does she
Judith,
look like a
was
bird character?
Judith Ivey any good in that?
Does she look like a bird character?
Look, there's no way even the fastest vehicle in the world could jump across that. It's literally a flat, like you have to go up to jump
There's
across.
no
You-
incline,
you
yeah.
can't go 30 feet in the air without at least like going up at all.
Look,
This can't
what you're
happen.
saying makes a lot of sense, but I see Sandra Bullock behind the wheel, and I think it's going to make that jump. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
All right, who would you top 4? Alan Ruck, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, she should have said that.
Have we ever done Keanu Reeves before?
Probably not.
I feel like his is going to be fun.
It's probably all 4 just chain reaction. All right, top 4, Alan Ruck. Oh, this is so good. There's only one hard one.
All right. Guess goes first.
Speed is correct.
Good guess. I'm going to go
That
with Ferris
is
Bueller's
correct.
Day Off.
Ferris Bueller is correct.
That is correct.
Is he in Twister?
Twister is
He is in
correct.
Twister, he is.
That is correct.
All right. Is there a TV answer in any of these? Oh, damn.
All right, I'll go ahead and give you a hint on this this 4th movie here. It's from 2008. A science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
Wait, say it again?
A science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide.
It's some dark shit.
Is it The Happening?
The Happening is correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
The Happening. Was that Marky
No,
Mark?
that's Ebola. Outbreak is Ebola, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and it was Mark Wahlberg who starred in The Happening.
I got that. Okay, cool.
All right, Keanu Reeves. This one shouldn't be too hard, right?
The Matrix, The Matrix, and The Matrix.
It's not time for guessing yet. The game has to officially start. Yeah.
But he can't wipe too hard because he'll wipe the fake wound off of her forehead.
Okay. Ready? Top 4 known for Keanu Reeves. Yes. The Matrix is correct.
That is correct.
I will go with Speed.
Speed is correct.
That is correct.
It's really popular.
The Matrix.
Could be. All the sequels. I'll say John Wick.
John Wick is incorrect.
Fuck.
You're so dumb.
I know it's Johnny Darko. Is my turn again?
Sure.
Johnny Darko.
You mean Johnny Mnemonic?
Johnny Mnemonic.
That's incorrect. That's
Good
wrong.
guess, though.
But good guess.
I'm going to go with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Chris, are you playing the game? I'm playing. Oh, Point Break is correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
How do they determine?
We
the
don't
top
know.
four?
That's why the game's fun.
Is Point Break not one of his best movies, though? I feel like that's pretty accurate. I would put that in his top 4.
So it was The Matrix, Point Break, Speed, and what was the other one?
We
still
don't know
have
yet.
to guess it.
Oh shit. Whose turn is it?
Well,
Chris fucked it up.
I think it's Matt's turn.
All right. And it's not Johnny Mnemonic. Keanu Reeves.
Yes, Parenthood, you coward.
No. And it's not Bill and Ted.
say the replacements.
Oh, look, he's in Rebel Without a Cause. Come on, Dennis Hopper.
Oh yeah, he played the
It's true.
the bad guy gang leader in that.
I'm a bad guy.
Real miscreant.
Yeah, he was in Rebel Without a Cause, but no one knows why.
I'll say The Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate is incorrect.
Good guess. Though.
By the lake.
You mean Lake House?
Lake House with Sandra Bullock.
That is an awesome guess, and like you should get points for it, but you're incorrect.
You blew it! If we were to have a hint, I think maybe it would be good to know if one of these was a sequel.
Yeah.
If this is a sequel to.
Gives it away.
The Matrix
Look.
Part 2.
You're free to guess away. You're free to guess away. Free guess away. Freeway. Are you not getting it?
The Matrix Part.
The Matrix Part 2 is correct.
That is correct.
All right. Well, that was a lot of top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we need any more top 4?
Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
feel bad that we're leaving not Alan Ruck on the table. Jeff Bridges on the table.
Joe Morton.
Joe Morton, yeah. A lot of just too many actors in this movie.
And did you
Bridges
catch
is so
catch who the train driver is at the end who gets killed?
No.
He's the guy he was on like The West Wing, and he's in like
Bradley Whitford?
No, it's the little guy, the little bald guy.
Oh, really?
Richard Schiff, I think is his name.
Oh, yeah, right. That is his name, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
He was in
Something
Jurassic Park 2. He gets ripped in half by 2 tyrannosaurs.
Okay.
That's what I know him from.
That's
do
how I
Jeff
wanna go.
Daniels. Come on, let's do Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Daniels. That would have been a great one. We have to do
Let's
it.
do Jeff Daniels.
This podcast is brought to you
Dumb
by
and Dumber.
This podcast is brought to you by Top 4.
Top 4. It's in.
I love this move right here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a professional cop.
Well, now
driver,
he's
though.
used to it.
Oh, and then they're having like a casual conversation while he's just hanging onto the side of a speeding Suburban.
I mean, it's fucking cool. I want to drive around on a Suburban like that.
Yeah. I would ask them to slow down a little bit once I was on it, though. I'd be like, guys, can we just. Yeah.
It'd be funny if like a bird just hit him in the head.
Oh man, this Jeff Daniels one is super hard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean like one of them's easy.
Okay, well.
Oh, did you?
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumber and Dumber is correct.
That is correct.
All righty. I'm going to assume that it's not Speed, since you said
Speed
it was
is
hard.
incorrect.
Well, I said assumed it was not Speed because you said that it was super
It sounded
hard.
like a guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are any of them a TV show?
No, it's not The Newsroom.
Okay.
Come on, he's in so many movies.
He's in so many movies, and I can't.
I know
think
what
of
I
any
would
of them
guess,
right now.
but it's wrong.
Thanks for that clue.
I have the vinyl soundtrack to this film.
It's a good clue.
It's neither.
It's to a movie.
It's not a hint. It's not the correct answer. It's nothing.
Shit, why can't I think of any good Jeff Daniels movies?
I've got so many in the chamber
All
ready
right,
to go.
fine. I'll just guess Speed, and
Speed is incorrect.
It's incorrect. All right, fine.
The Purple Rose of Cairo.
That is correct.
Yeah.
What?
That is correct.
What a random movie to.
It's a Woody Allen movie, right?
Yes, it is.
Jobs.
No, that is incorrect.
No?
Man, I wish you guys had taken longer because it's back to me already.
Yeah. You should guess something wild just so I can like applaud your guess. And
That was my next
But I
guess.
know it's not going to be something
I
wild.
know it's wrong. That's what I would guess though.
But I didn't think it was going to be the Purple Rose of Cairo either. So
Dumb and Dumberer.
Oh, that's a good guess. I'll take it. Dumb and Dumberer.
No.
So that is not.
No, Dumb and Dumber. No, yeah, Dumb and Dumber is the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, Dumb and Dumber
Dumb and
2,
Dumber 2,
when Harry
T.O.
met Lloyd. Oh,
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber 2 is.
That is correct.
Oh, that's correct?
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber 2,
Oh,
T.O.
well,
is
I don't
correct.
even want credit
What?
for that one.
Yes, that's correct. That's in his top 4.
Boo.
That is one of
Boo.
that is one of the
Correct.
4 things that Jeff Daniels is known for.
How is he in that? Isn't it a prequel?
No,
know.
you're thinking of when Harry met Lloyd.
That's Dumber and Dumber 2.
Oh, maybe is he in like archival?
Oh,
stuff?
no. You're right. The Farrelly Brothers one is called Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, that's the movie that
The
we
one
talked
that we're talking about, the prequel, is Dumb and Dumber.
Dumberer. Yep.
The when Harry met
I
Lloyd.
feel like we're all dumber for having had this conversation. This is not.
Which is the better title? Which is the more clever title? Dumb and Dumberer?
Dumb
or,
and Dumberer?
or Dumb and Dumber 2?
I like Dumb and Dumber 2.
No, Dumb and Dumberer. I think is the better title.
Well,
But it's T.O. instead
It's
of
spelled
T.W.O.
Yeah, still not as good as.
that's a little creative.
Okay, there's one movie left. It's from 2005, and it follows 2 young boys dealing with their parents' divorce.
Oh,
I know it.
I think it's your turn, Matt.
It's Matt's turn.
The Squid and the Whale,
The
motherfucker.
Squid and the Whale is correct.
That is
I love that
correct.
Would not have guessed any of those.
He's also in Arachnophobia.
Nice. Why isn't that in the top 4?
yeah, that should have been.
It should have been Something Wild, Arachnophobia, Dumb and Dumber, and The Purple Rose of Cairo.
Oh, look, there's a clue right there.
Oh, Terms of Endearment. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I saw Terms of Endearment, I didn't see the deer. Chris laughed.
Good thing he's not on mic.
Yeah.
No one will hear the laughs. All right, so we're done with top 4, yeah?
Thank
Yes.
God.
I'm so glad I got to say that Terms of Endearment thing.
Nobody will ever understand why.
So at this point in Speed, they're still on the bus.
They made it to the airport.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is now under the bus on a
dolly.
Yeah, like a machine shop dolly that is somehow able to go 50 miles an hour without those tires just like completely burning right off.
Yeah, or like maybe the tires burned off, but like the wheels ripping off the axle from
Yeah,
the
it
friction.
seems like those things aren't meant to go 50 miles
They must
an
have
hour.
like oiled it up like
Why does
real
it feel
good.
like Sandra Bullock changed clothes just now?
she takes
She
off
took
her
flower
sweatshirt?
Yeah.
blouse on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's slowly costume changing.
This
as we
grandma lingerie.
Yep.
Her sweatshirt is an important story element because it establishes that she went to the University of Arizona. One of the like 2 or 3 things we actually know about her. she takes the bus.
She got a speeding ticket.
She because she was a speeder, and she went to the University of Arizona.
And because she went to the University of Arizona, I think we can assume that she has a bunch of nudes floating around somewhere.
I was wondering if someone was going to take shots at the fine institution that is the University of Arizona. I should have known.
I also like that at this point when his little wheelie car gets pulled out from under him, he stabs a screwdriver into the gas tank trying to like hold himself up, and then barely uses it to actually hold himself there. Like he ends up just grabbing things with his hand, but now he's got gas pouring on him, and the bus is running out of gas.
He was really just trying to make the movie longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're like, what could he do to really fuck him here?
And it loses gas so fast. That
Yep.
little
Yeah.
meter goes down. But yeah, it's time to wrap this bus shit up. There's still a half hour left of this movie.
Oh, yeah, and like there's still like quite a bit of bus time left. They have to establish that he hasn't figured out that they're on closed circuit television camera inside the bus.
Yeah,
Right.
they once they figure that out though, they do it pretty quick where they're like, okay, now record it and loop it, and you know, they
Yeah,
get the
I feel
TV
like-
crew involved.
Actually, I was watching it and I remembered that plot element, but I couldn't remember like how they broadcast that tape, I was like, oh, I forget that whole sequence. And it's because it happens so fast. They're just like,
Yeah.
yep, we have
Call the TV
technology.
crew and we can do that. Okay, record it. They record it for like 3 seconds. And they just loop
Great,
that 3
loop it,
seconds
go.
over and over
Like
again.
I for me, it's like, does like just a TV news van guy really have the technical skill to like do all of this that fast?
Yes, he absolutely does.
Okay, 'cause-
The guys who work those fucking vans.
They're professionals. They know what they're doing.
yeah. I don't know.
UHF, baby.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe if like the SWAT team guy was like, "Do this right now," the guy might have been like, "Shrug."
What? You've been watching too many movies. I just know how to press the buttons to make the cameras work and stuff. I think it's also like it's mercifully short that once they because at this point the movie's starting to we've been on the bus for a while and it's starting to lose its urgency. And I think they do just the right time. They're like, make it quick. I'm just amazed at how many times they introduce because the news guy is another new character that they introduce who has like 2 lines. This movie has no problem just having 8 million characters who each have like one tiny moment.
It's
of
an
the
ensemble
plot.
piece.
Yeah, it gives people lines that like would not get lines. Like the coffee shop scene where he has to go back to get his muffin.
Right.
That was
Hey,
like
you forgot your
super
muffin, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Thanks.
like everyone's getting their SAG card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Now, this was the worst way to die for a character who has so much fucking buildup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember him like we're at the point where Harry
Jeff Daniels.
breaks into the house that they've traced the killer to, and at one point he realizes that the house is booby trapped and it's all going to blow up, and they have that moment
Where he just stares and
he
he's just
kind
like,
of
fuck.
I always remember that being a really great moment, and I didn't remember how much he underplays
Still got
it.
the plastic on the couch there.
Yep.
Classic 90s.
He totally underplays this of like, he doesn't even like really have an expression. He just sort of, you see him figure it out and then just like,
He realizes right
yeah,
here.
Yeah. But he really doesn't have that moment of like, oh fuck, He's just sort of
I think this is a pretty oh fuck face here. Yeah, that's pretty.
like, that's pretty mild oh fuck face. I mean, he doesn't, I'm applauding the performance. He doesn't overdo it. He doesn't like oversell it, but it is like, it's very internalized, the oh fuck.
He looks really ready for it. Like,
I'd love to see the alternate takes where they're like, and action. He's just like,
It's a bomb! It's a bomb! The one where he's just like, whoopsie.
I mean, at least walk towards the door, bro.
Yeah.
I don't understand just standing there.
Yeah, exactly.
it looks like he knows that like he potentially could get exploded, and he was like earlier before he went in the house, he was like, I wonder what it feels like to get exploded.
I also think that, so at least one, possibly several members of their SWAT squad bomb team.
Yeah, the elite, the police squad,
Have
the
been-
elite
yeah,
division
yeah,
of
the police
LAPD.
squad of the LAPD have been blown up now and are dead or dying. And for me, like realistically, that taints the entire rest of the movie, not from like a perspective of like, oh, the movie can't be good, but like you can't have like a romantic happy ending to this movie when Keanu Reeves has just lost several of his coworkers within hours. So every time like his sergeant congratulates him on doing a good job, or like he and Sandy have like a flirtatious moment, I'm like, his best friend just died. Like where did, like, is that not hanging in the back of his head somewhere? Like, shouldn't he would be a mess for like a fucking week. And yet it's still like same old wisecracking adventure. They do a good job of just sort of glazing right past it and being like, well, it'll just motivate him to want revenge that much more. But, after this moment, he never really mourns Harry's death.
you know what I read in the trivia is that Keanu
There's
Reeves,
a sad cut of this movie where they did all the sad takes.
Keanu Reeves was good friends with River Phoenix in real life, and he died during the production of this movie. And they actually changed the shooting schedule to give him time to like mourn. And when he came back, they said he was still like really low key and like really different. And, the director had to really like snap him out of it to like do certain scenes or whatever. And then he's got to do this scene, where he's like upset that his best friend died or whatever, his partner. So he's kind of in it, you know.
Yeah. And then the director was like, no, if your best friend dies, you just get over that in 5 minutes. You're going to be fine. And
Well, all the people on the bus are really supportive.
You'll get laid at the end of this movie.
yeah, yes. Don't worry. You will get laid.
You know, the people on the bus are really supportive. And
I love that sign right there. It said, "To avoid personal injury, please do not stand in the stairwell." And there was literally a woman who died in the stairwell like a few scenes ago.
Good football team. Yeah. I don't really know, but yeah.
Is that what she says?
Yeah. It's so good. It's like the best dialogue in the whole movie. He's like, "Oh, you went to Arizona? Good football team." And she's like, "Yeah."
I was there.
I don't really know.
I was
but
there
yeah.
to blow frat boys. I was there. I didn't play any football.
She was in class, Harris. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do something.
She was majoring in going too fast.
I just love that he calls this guy Gigantor. Is he that big that he you know?
He only calls him that once.
And then someone else calls him
Yeah.
Gigantor. They like pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at no point is this guy like, I have a name. Don't dehumanize me.
He does. There's another line where he's like, instead of calling him Gigantor, he's like, "Oh wait, what's your name?"
Yeah, call
Something
me
very
Frank or
stereotypically Mexican.
whatever. Yeah.
Giant Samoan dude.
Don't call me Gigantor. Call me Pablo.
Yeah. Or Juan or whatever. You know, just as long as it's in
Santiago.
Yeah.
He does love cokes.
Yeah, I find it disgusting how much Dennis
Why does he
Hopper's
have that
character-
fucking mannequin? What's he doing with that mannequin?
That's to hold his fake police uniform.
Oh yeah, that comes into play later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a female mannequin with the shirt all open.
it
looks
is kinda weird.
Sexy.
I was trying to figure out
He's
like
messed up,
where
he's
he
evil.
is and like what it's like a former something because it's like a dilapidated building.
Everything is a form or something.
He's above.
I feel like
He's
did you
above
guys see
Percy's
that shot just now? I feel like they added a couple of characters on this bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then they cut to someone. I'm like, who the hell is that?
The extras are day players. They just rotate in and out.
Yeah, there's like for a movie with like 8 featured bus characters, there's also like 8 people on the bus who we never even talk. There's the old black couple who, by the way, other characters in this movie, there's an elderly black couple on this bus who we literally only see when they're getting off the bus.
There's like 2 teenage like Asian girls.
Yep.
The older Asian woman, she's heavily featured, but does not get a line.
I wonder
Yeah.
how many of them had lines and parts in like the 3-hour, supercut of this movie.
I'm sure they all had at least one line.
Is there a 3-hour supercut? Why are we not watching that?
Yeah, I know. It's just seems wrong.
Look at that big old VHS tape.
Yeah. Why did
Look
VHS
at all that
tapes-
technology.
That was Betacam. Yeah.
Betacam. Yep.
Why do they like look so big? It's like his hand looks so small.
Maybe that guy just has really small hands. They're like, we really want to emphasize the tape, so we want a guy whose hands won't obstruct too much of the tape. Who has the smallest hands here?
There was a more qualified actor, but they were like, his hands are too big.
Yeah. They had a hand double who was a child actor. They brought the child actor in just a hand double for the guy putting the videotape in.
I really like the other police guy. He's I believe he's Paul Walker's dad in Varsity Blues. And he says like, "Come on, Moxon, show him what you're made of."
This loop was on for so long, and this guy didn't even look. It was coming out of the bathroom, coming out.
Yeah, like what is this place that there's
Just-
a random bathroom?
He's
stall
above
right there?
Pershing Square because he's got to watch the trash can that he hollowed out the bottom of.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I watched the movie.
Yeah, but how does he have access to this place? Like, what is this building that he's in?
Not just access. He set up a whole fucking Batman type of. Fucking,
Yeah. This is in the Darkman universe where there's just abandoned warehouses that bad guys can just set up layers and they're thoughtful enough to leave the electricity on for them, but otherwise it's completely abandoned.
Well, like the yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like here's the 2 Asian girls. We haven't seen them at all.
Yeah, when they get off the bus is where we actually see how many freaking people are on this bus that we have never seen.
It's a pretty full bus.
Yeah. And the people on the bus go up and down.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
There's the elderly black couple.
Oh yeah.
Now we're just watching the movie.
Yes.
Oh, that guy's got like that '90s haircut.
Oh, and he was probably the worst of all the actors in the bus. Is the guy with the like
Oh, the
long
Baldwin
90s
guy?
hair.
He looked
the lost Baldwin brother. Because he had a few lines right at the beginning, and they were all delivered.
Oh, look, you see the crew? Wait, go back. Can you rewind?
Yeah.
You could clearly see the crew in the reflection of
We
the
are
window.
going to rewind to catch the crew in the reflection, because this was actually filmed by people.
With cameras.
Watch in like the door of the bus to the right. You can stop now.
The lady with the cat eye glasses gets a lot of screen time too, although she
doesn't get a
had
line
any
either.
lines.
Yeah, she looks like she's like a pink girl from what do you call it? From
Grease?
Grease, yeah.
Yeah, one of the
Pink lady. There, see that guy?
Oh yeah, wow, that's pretty good.
Pretty egregious.
The chrome bumper of the bus is very, very reflective. You think they put some dulling spray on that, or that was just they just?
I was
were
looking
like,
in the
"Yeah, fuck
window,
it."
the window. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I was in the bumper. You could see like the entire vehicle and everything.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see it at all. I'm in the world of the story.
You could see the whole camera car.
I just feel like I'm there, going 50 miles per hour, but never less.
It kind of annoys me. Like half of my job is spotting out in like the show that I work on, like spotting out, when you see like a production light or like, a shadow of the camera guy or whatever, or reflection of the crew. And they like remove all that shit. And like, I guess it's cool that they can do that now, but I don't know. It takes something out of it for me. It's like, come on, like leave that shit in. It keeps it grounded.
It's always amazing how
You like seeing the crew in the reflection?
I love seeing mistakes. Like that's like part of watching movies for me.
you should watch some indie stuff. They can't afford to take stuff out.
Yeah.
I love that part in Spaceballs when they're having the lightsaber fight and they kill one of the cameramen.
And they're like, "Oops, sorry."
Yeah, that's good.
It always.
Now, this
blows
is
me-
even more ridiculous. What is the point of putting that rope around the wheel? I never
that it
got the
doesn't-
physics.
So that it doesn't turn by itself.
Isn't the rope gonna make it turn though?
No, because it's swerving because one of the tires is out. She's having to hold it steady because like one of the tires blew out, so it's like consistently swerving.
Yeah, I think
to
they
one
just
side.
cinched the rope.
Well,
with
if the
something
bus
off
is gonna swerve right now, shouldn't they fall?
But why is
under
the rope?
tire?
Yeah, I think he's asking why are they tying the rope to the thing
I
they're
think
about
it's
to
two
slide
different
on?
ropes.
No, that's two different ropes.
Yeah,
two
it's
different
one
ropes.
rope is holding the wheel in
Yeah.
place, and the other rope is so they go straight when they go out the back.
See that rope? See how that's a different rope?
Yeah,
It's two different ropes.
I still don't get it. And where did those wheels come from?
yeah, I know.
If you
All-
take a bus apart, are there wheels?
All
on
bus
the-
doors, all the bottom hatch doors of the bus, which may not even exist for all I know, also have little wheelies on them.
This stunt was cool when they're sliding out of the bus and the music crescendos, and it's like it's a good moment.
Although it's got wheels on it, and we don't know why. And presumably we're not supposed to understand that there are wheels on it. I think that stunt would have been a lot cooler if fucking sparks and shit were flying off.
Oh,
the bottom.
yeah.
Did
That
they
would've been dope.
did they pull this airplane out on purpose to stop the bus?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, are you talking about the filmmakers or the airport
The
workers?
filmmakers
Some-
did.
Is this on purpose? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that's the most incredible thing is they, again, this is where Matt and I would disagree if I was producing the movie, because I'd be like, wouldn't they have shut down the whole fucking airport to avoid having a multi-million-dollar airplane blown up by a fucking bus?
They didn't have
all
a
that
single
fucking jet
flight.
fuel.
They didn't have a single flight land or depart off late or at all. It was everything's on time.
But the Pacific Columbia
Pacific Courier.
Pacific Courier crew was like, you know what? I think this is probably a good time to move. You know the 737 we wanted down the other side of the airport? Let's just sneak it over there when nobody's looking.
Do you
The
think
best
the guy
was-
in the little tow truck was just like, wow.
Oh shit!
Look at him go.
This ain't my fault.
That was just to show that he survived, that another life
exactly.
wasn't lost.
Yeah,
The
absolutely
best was
was.
watching this with Colleen. She's like, "This is horrible. All those people on that plane are gonna die." And I'm like, "Oh, there's no people on that plane. It was being tugged by a little car or whatever." She's like, "Oh, thank God." They're cans.
Cans.
There were just nothing but cans on that plane. The wizard turned all the passengers into cans.
And then turned it back into body parts. When it hit the ground.
I thought they did kiss in this part, but they don't kiss.
Well, she's clearly emotional. She's like near death.
She's like, "Are you
experience.
crushing on me?" And he's like, "Maybe." Yeah. He's like, "I'm fucking rock
This
hard
is where
right
she
now."
has a line about like What a terrible angle to shoot her from. Like,
Yeah.
just she's young and attractive, and they're like, now we're gonna shoot you from like below your chin at an upward angle, and you've got to like scrunch your chin up into your neck, so
fine.
it definitely
She still
looks like
looks
you have no chin or jaw.
It's fine. She still looks good.
He's a first-time director. Give him a break.
Yeah. He's never worked with an actress before or seen one. He's a DP. He should have known, like, you don't shoot actresses like that.
You don't understand his vision for speed.
It's like, I want it to look more like you're approachable, so some guy in the audience is like, maybe I could bone her if I save her from a bus bomb.
I don't think there's any way he said that.
I can't do the accent, but yeah, he said roughly.
We want to make the audience want to bone her.
How do you know he has an accent at all?
Because his name's Jan De Bont.
show her panties. Imply that she's wearing
Are there more
panties.
panties?
Let the audience remember that panties
Where did all these
exist.
scars come from? I didn't see that on the bus.
Your motivation in this scene is for men to want to bone you. They want to stoop you.
Be sexy.
Why does he sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Because his name is Jan De Bont. He's from Austria, probably.
He's probably not.
Probably not.
Oh, it did win for best effects. Look
Norwegian?
at that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Wait, is that 2 Oscars? Because there's a comma there.
Best effects and sound effects editing.
Wow.
All right, now we're in downtown LA, and they're all swarming around the garbage can where they're going to drop the money.
This villain makes them all look really stupid by
Really
simply putting
fucking
a
dumb.
hole in the bottom of the garbage can.
He thought ahead.
But like,
I thought you meant just by looking out his window and seeing all the fucking snipers and
oh
shit.
yeah,
Like,
Oh, I thought you meant how no one was protecting her, and he just easily walks up to her and is like,
Yeah.
come with me.
it's all of it. There's some pretty bad police work going on, and they shut down a whole barbershop.
I was just thinking, like, I feel bad for the owner and proprietor of this bone.
Yeah,
this,
anyone
barbershop.
wants to get edged up today, it's not going to happen. There's a long wait.
Why doesn't she stay in the
Man,
truck?
she looks so bored in that ambulance. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
why does the ambulance guy talk to her or notice that she's getting kidnapped?
Yeah, she's super hot. Why would you ignore her? She's just been through trauma. Like, wouldn't you talk to her?
the trauma.
I know you've had a rough day, but will my penis help?
Yikes.
So is that the money? That's the drop right there? Or is the money
yes.
already?
Yeah, this
Yes,
is the guy
that's
putting the money in
the
the
drop.
Yeah, yeah.
He looked into the bottom of the trash can. He saw that there was no bottom.
Well,
of
it
the
was
trash
probably removable. It's probably there and then it's not, you know?
can. Like there's a trap door, a secret hiding trap door
yeah.
thing.
Oh, what's on his neck?
That big lesion scar on his neck is disgusting. I don't know what that has to do with the plot of the movie, but it's
Well, what
gross.
is his thing that a bomb exploded and injured him, right?
Yeah. Oh, that was probably the best shot of his thumb not being there that
Yeah.
we've seen. Is definitely gross looking. Although you can see where they just tucked his thumb into his palm. Those makeup artists can do only so much.
I think it
Missing
looks
thumb
pretty
is a
good.
tough one.
Yeah. Yeah, today they just CG.
This
that
is
thumb
just
right
not the part for this guy.
This is stupid too. Like, you know, when they're filming this, they're like, okay, nobody move, and like this woman somehow has a bag on her thing, and then it's not there. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's a concession to filmmaking that none of this makes sense, or it's like this is another thing, like the plane getting hauled across the runway. You got to do a lot of stupid shit to make the movie
And
exciting.
he just thought that Keanu Reeves was just standing. They've been off that bus for gotta be 30 minutes now. They all the way across town.
yeah.
You just thought Keanu Reeves was just sitting staring in that same position.
Right,
You
right.
didn't want to talk to him. You'd had no more Riddler, Joker type shit.
Yeah,
to say to
exactly.
him.
Yeah, he hasn't interacted with them in forever. It's like you said, he should have been asking, like, "Hey, where's my damn money?"
He's also already won at this point. If he just goes and takes the money
Yep.
instead of kidnapping Sandra Bullock, also he gets the money.
Although he knows that they're onto him a little bit, so maybe he wants to have the leverage. I don't know.
yeah, well that's true, but still.
And like his own, like, he just wants revenge. He's just still fucking
Does he?
with
'Cause
him.
I
you
think
know,
he wants 3.7 million.
he's a psychopath.
Revenge
yeah,
for what?
He's evil.
for fucking up his elevator scheme.
Yeah.
He's evil and he knows it. That's why he wants to be evil.
Evil and crazy. This is probably one of those things where, like, because he,
Like
like,
it's technology.
yeah, like I said, this wasn't a big. Obviously, a lot of people declined the lead roles in this movie, and I'm sure Dennis Hopper wasn't their first choice for the bad guy. Where he was. In
No,
his
it was
career.
Jeff. It was Jeff Daniels.
He should not have been their last choice, honestly.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Pop quiz hot shot.
He says it in the beginning. He says it when the first bus goes off.
He's about to say it again right now, I think.
And then he says it right now, too. Shoot the hostage. He just shoots Sandra Bullock in the head.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how that helped the situation.
He does this whole speech, and he's clearly got a line of sight to the person he's aiming his gun at. He does this whole speech, and somehow he doesn't notice that it's Sandra Bullock, not Dennis Hopper. Like, somehow he has confused. He's standing 20 feet away. He has somehow confused Sandra Bullock, the
Your
woman
body types are
that he
similar.
wants to. Yeah. I think they're both about the same cup size.
Yeah, your titties look similar.
The two thumbs should have tipped me off. Whoa.
Whoa, cool. Oh, I know you.
and here's where we introduce this dead man switch that he has to keep the trigger held down or it'll blow up. Which is, honestly,
This was like a common thing in the 90s. That
Yeah,
there were bomb
Joe
detonators
Morton
that-
had one in Terminator
it
2.
became a thing. You would think these were just all over the place. Like you just go down to the Radio Shack and I need a bomb that I want to detonate remotely. So I need one of those switches like they have in all the movies everywhere.
And it's not that you press a button; it's that you let go of it.
Right. Which is kind of, it only works. This is the only circumstance where you would need this if you were holding someone hostage. There's no other circumstance where you need this particular type of thing to detonate a bomb.
You know what else just clicked for me? In the beginning of the movie, Keanu Reeves shoots Harry in the leg.
Yep.
But doesn't shoot the bad guy.
Yes.
Well, because he's got a dead man switch also.
Yeah, he has the
If
same
he
thing.
kills him, he'll let go and blow it up.
Yeah.
Oh, he did in the beginning?
He has the same. Yeah, he has the same switch in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of the dead man switch is that you can't kill the person, otherwise you'll die too.
I always think it's funny how often this is another movie where they shoot somebody intentionally in the leg, like it's like a solution to a problem,
Right? Like it'll be okay.
Like you'll be fine. Like a gunshot to the leg might not cripple you for life if it busts your femur. It might not hit like an art. You have a femoral artery that runs the length of your fucking leg right in your thigh. You'll bleed out in like really minutes if that happens. Doesn't matter what you do.
He says it. He says a line like another 6 inches and I would have been dead. Or whatever.
That's why people don't understand
he
the
would've lost
importance
his dick.
of muscular thighs. You gotta have muscular thighs.
And if your dick is long enough, you could lose the tip of your dick.
Yep, that's true.
You shot me in the dick. I shot near your kneecap. Yeah.
I know. It's okay. It's fine. I had plenty, but
I've got more.
I've got reserves.
got plenty of dick. Yeah, and also he's standing 2 feet away from that lock, and it takes him like 7. I'm glad they didn't have him hit it in the first shot, but also he like unloads his clip into this fucking lock. He gets it on the like 6th shot.
Is this what the red line looks like?
When I saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" There's lights on the ceiling. There's like different colors. It looks.
So
really
wait, you
cool.
guys have ridden the subway?
I've ridden the red
Los
line a
Angeles?
couple times.
That's the
yeah.
one that goes like to Hollywood, right? To Hollywood downtown.
And it goes to up to North Hollywood too,
Bro,
like
how
to
strong
Universal.
you gotta be?
Yeah.
Really?
Is that the one that's by my house?
Now it's like
The purple one's the one they're building.
All I see is that like if you ride the LA subway, like you're going to get mugged or you're going to get injured. Yeah, like I've heard it's like not protected at all. Like, and all people are just calling for like, security or cops or whatever. Like there need to be like security measures taken because it's just like a breeding ground for
Okay, right
crime.
here, he tells her to hold the fucking switch. Doesn't she have all the power at this point? You can't,
Well, as long as he's standing,
her.
as long as he's standing close to her.
I mean, you can't shoot her.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it back to him if I were
Yeah.
her.
Oh,
She's
give it
handcuffed,
back.
though.
Give it back. I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
she's trying not to give it
okay.
back.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, she does her best.
Another stupid woman moment, right?
I mean,
She
she's
tried.
trying.
What
She
is that,
tried.
Sandra Bullock?
But yeah, she is kind of like, she's just a lot of whimpering here. And this is an important thing to remember from when we talk about Speed 2, when they really don't, it becomes a Sandra Bullock movie and they really don't change that aspect of the character, which is kind of the dumb thing about it, is that there's like way more of her, but they don't make her any more like
Heroic.
powerful or
Yeah.
heroic or anything like
There's
that.
a Speed 2, you say?
Yeah,
We've got to see
Yeah,
that.
so it's the one with the guy
Get
at the bottom
ready.
of his anus.
Yeah, the anus bomb.
This hurts really bad.
If you poop, you
All right,
die.
So for all the shit that I talked about Dennis Hopper in this movie, this is the most believable bad guy moment of all time when he says, "My money, what did you do?"
Yeah, he's very
This
sad.
is like the greatest fucking moment because
And then he just runs off and screams into the distance. I love that.
look at this shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I got plenty. Look at this. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like a common thing? Wouldn't he have known that that was a possibility?
Look at his
Yeah.
face. This is the best performance of the whole movie. Look, and then he starts letting off with the fucking AK.
Yeah.
And somehow Keanu was able to dodge.
It's
all
not
of this
clear.
shit.
It's not clear how he's pulling the trigger and holding the dead man switch at the same time, though.
Yeah, there's
With
a lot
one
going on
thumb.
there.
And only one thumb. Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's such a bad shot here. This is the other movie trope that I hate is people shooting through the roof of a car or a bus or a train to somebody who's on that roof and not hitting them with a single shot. Like I understand that that could potentially happen, but it seems there's not a lot of places to hide. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves is moving, which I think actually might increase the odds of him getting shot if he's moving to different places, unless he's moving to where the guy just shot, thinking that he'll never shoot the same place twice.
You're gonna hate John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been better if Keanu Reeves got hit there, you know. Yeah, and like then you kind of buy that he's struggling.
To beat a one-thumbed man who's 25 years older than him in a fight. Yeah, yeah.
You hit my leg.
Oh,
Bro.
not
Look,
cool.
he's got him by the ears.
Yeah.
This is a classic 90s fight technique. Grab a guy by the ears.
Yeah.
Somehow he just can't take it.
Also, bashing him with the thing that's keeping the bomb from exploding doesn't seem like the smartest.
I do love this bit. He's like, I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. And he's like, yeah, I'm taller.
Yeah. Is he saying he's taller because Dennis Hopper now has no head left?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he says it after it happens
Yeah.
to no one
Yeah.
who was hearing him.
This is a movie.
It's a good.
This
It's
is
a
terrible green screen here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good head falling off though.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Definitely looked like they knocked that head right off.
I love when characters say lines to no one. Like, do you think he's coming down? He's like, Sandy, you missed it. I said,
So he says. So we're like struggling, and it's like really intense and everything. And then he's like, "I'm smarter," and then I'm like, "I hold his head." I mean, okay, you had to be there, but it was really cool.
Can you disarm this bomb now, please?
can we get the fuck out of here?
And now the train won't stop.
It's that classic scene
Right.
in Total Recall when he shoots Sharon Stone and says, "Consider that a divorce." He's talking to no one.
Yeah,
He's impressing only himself.
Cohagen. When I shot the girl, here's what happened. So she says.
It's funny because we were married in my life on the outside of the Mars fantasy.
It's ironic, don't you understand?
You get it?
It's comedy. It's the rule of three.
Why'd you laughing?
What you laughing?
Cohagen.
It's funny.
Can we just do Total Recall again?
So good.
I think we should just do an annual Total Recall podcast.
I think we could do that. I like where your head's at.
Jarale, you a Total Recall fan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe we can do it in 2 weeks. Colin's joking.
What is it? What does Benny say? Like, I got 5 kids to feed. Or whatever?
Yeah. I got 5 kids to feed.
One movie, 3 titties.
You know, her performance here where she thinks she's going to die is pretty impressive. I don't know why they don't just yank her thumb out of the socket, though. I feel
Oh
like
my
that's
God.
like
He just pulls out a machete and just chops her hands
That'd
off.
be, that'd be full circle like a motherfucker.
yeah, it's your whole life on the line here.
Hollywood
Can't
Station.
stop this train, but I did find this big ass knife.
Well, that's the original Mad Max thing of like, you know, this you could probably hack through your Hacksaw could probably hack through these cuffs in about a half an hour. Probably get through your arm in like 5
We're gonna
minutes.
solve this problem the same way we solved that bus problem.
Speed. Yeah.
More fucking speed.
Minimum speed.
What a terrible, terrible, terrible name for anything.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. I feel like I wonder how long the script got shopped before it sold. And if he shopped it at all with that title, I can sort of imagine it made the rounds and everyone was like,
I'm sure his agent or someone was like,
Yeah.
just cross out the word.
yeah, somebody had to be like, no.
Justin
no, no,
Timberlake was like, get rid of the word minimum. It's cleaner. Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Drop it. Yeah, drop the word minimum.
Should we start wrapping this bad boy up?
Yeah, it's probably time to do that.
This is a classic. How many movies can you think of where you got a train speeding out of control through like an area of? There's Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There is not Casino Royale.
Batman Begins
Bullet Train.
has a train
Oh,
sequence.
yeah.
Batman Begins. Yeah.
Money Train.
Money Train. Yeah.
What's the Denzel movie?
The Pelham one. Is
Oh,
it-
Taking the
Pelham
Pelham
123.
Pelham 227.
yeah.
Skyfall. That's the one with the
Oh, yeah, that's
where he
got a
tries to
train.
kill him with a train. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where a train just comes through the wall out of
Oh, that
nowhere.
was nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could tell it's miniatures, but it looks great.
Yeah,
Murder-
because they're always miniatures and they always look kind of the same, and it's like one of those things that you just. This is what it actually. If I saw a real train running roughshod through like in whatever this is,
Subway station.
unbuilt
This
subway
train makes
station.
a hell of a fucking journey.
And is that
All the
Hollywood
shit
Boulevard?
This train has to go through.
Yeah.
How is this train still going? I feel like the train should have been
The
stopped by now.
the people who made this movie do not understand the concept of inertia.
Didn't you want something like this in your rewrite of Murder on the Orient Express?
Logistically,
Yeah.
this was one of the most difficult scenes in the film. Did you see that little?
Yes, yeah, that blurb was just, and they were just talking about suspension of disbelief. They're like, this is one of the most difficult things for everyone to film without laughing about how dumb it is.
4 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard were shut down for the Metro Rail crash. 4 plus 4 equals 8. And 8 is the amount of time that... I don't know, fucking know.
I can't.
Starline Tours.
The guy who gets out of the Starline Tours bus says, "I can't believe you hit me." It's like, what
Yeah, it's
can
like,
you believe
you guys
about
better
any
have
of this?
you guys better have insurance on your runaway sideways subway car that's driving on the street. This all seems against regulation.
Bro, when Keanu Reeves is in that guy's car and he's like, "Are you insured?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I just was waiting for that by survival." Yeah. But it didn't come.
This is the part of the movie where I wanted like a James Bond quip to end it. Like, what are they doing over there? And some guy's just like, watch out, he's gonna come fast or something.
That's not good writing.
No, that would be the speed version of the James Bond clip. It's like a single
something
entendre.
having to do with speed
Yeah.
and coming.
Right after the train scene.
Yeah.
I like what they do say. Because earlier she says relationships based on intense experiences don't ever work out. And then he said, someone told me that relationships based on intense experiences don't work out.
Are the spectators showering them with broken glass?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
It's like throwing
here?
rice at a
Yeah,
wedding.
Exactly.
Look how happy they are.
Yeah, they're thrilled to see this couple make out. Meanwhile, somewhere in that same car is a dead train conductor for the subway.
Nobody
line
gives a fuck
that
about.
they're probably making out on his body right now, and everyone else is just like, yeah, everyone, it all worked out happily except for his dead best friend and all the other cops. And
There's
all
a headless guy a mile down the track.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
You
In
want to
the,
see something gross? Don't worry, it's all just cans now.
in the beginning, when they're getting medals, the cans. When they're getting medals in the beginning, the guy was like, "These are our brave heroes who like saved the elevator people, and luckily." Nobody died. And then I was like, what about that guy who got stabbed in the fucking head? They forgot about him.
That was before the police arrived.
He was a security guard. He died in the line of duty. That doesn't count. Those guys, man, in movies like this, security guards are getting killed off left and right. You cannot count them as actual.
Yeah, who actually died in this movie? So there's that guy. There's the woman who fell off the bus.
There's the train conductor.
The train conductor.
Train conductor.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis
of course.
Hopper.
The first busload, it was an entire
Dumb and
busload.
Dumber.
Well,
No.
was it a busload? It was no. The guy was starting his shift, so it was just
Yeah,
the
it was
bus
just the
driver.
bus
There
driver.
were people in that bus.
No, there
there
weren't.
There weren't.
No,
that
because
bus
he
was
stops,
empty.
he parks it, he gets out, he gets a
Yeah.
coffee
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
the
and
driver dies.
The can baby.
the can baby.
Yeah, pretty low body count overall.
Yeah, it's a pretty reasonable body count for an insane movie.
Yeah, I mean, all the SWAT team cops and Jeff Daniels that's the big number. Of,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were like what? At least 8 cops in that house.
We don't know how many of them perished, but at least I would think the 2 in the room. Yeah.
Or how many of them
yes,
transformed into
probably all of
cans
them,
before.
Yeah. Many of them were actually cans to begin with. They didn't transform, but it was like, hey, is that new SWAT team officer? Is something funny about him?
That can of beans was my partner.
It's just a big sack of cans in a
Just
uniform.
a bunch of cans. He's a bunch of cans, but he's damn good at his job.
I knew him for 15 years.
He was 2 days from retirement.
I tell you what,
He was 2 days from retirement.
I didn't trust you at first, Recycly, but you a damn good cop.
Recycly.
Oh boy. Okay, let's wrap this motherfucker up.
All right.
I would just like to say this about Speed. It remains one of the dumber action movies ever made. Not quite on like the Armageddon level, where it's also that's the difference. There's a lot of movies that I didn't like from this era and that were very popular. This is one of them. Armageddon was another. But at least this movie was like competently edited. It doesn't make any fucking sense. All the performances are fairly bad except for Keanu and Sandra Bullock just sort of doing their thing.
Except for the stars of the movie.
Yeah, except for the stars of the movie. Oh yeah, there's a McCabe, James M. McCabe, good old Uncle James, good old Uncle Jimmy. Apparently did something on this.
He
set.
was the
I think he was a
location.
sack of cans.
He was a sack of cans.
The sack of cans. The can baby was Uncle Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy McCabe. Yeah, so it bothers me that this movie just goes out of its way to insult my intelligence by asking me to believe that stupid things that are impossible are possible, and not even going through like the minimum effort of like trying to make them seem possibly realistic. Like, for instance, putting some kind of shitty ramp, making some excuse for a shitty ramp to be on the highway, just so I could be like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Or elevating one side of the highway.
Picture car mechanics, Howie Mandel. Did anyone see that?
The Howie Mandel. Yeah, this is taking a break from comedy. You want to do some picture car mechanics.
He's a real
anyways,
car head.
Call the cops Randy Walker. Is that his whole name?
What the fuck?
And Bubba.
Credits are weird.
Would you like me to pause just so you guys could read the credits?
No, okay,
Nah,
we're going to
that's
keep
fine.
interrupting you. Just keep going.
For hilarious credits like Bubba. Make sure you only use the wish to thanks if anything comes up here that's interesting. Anyways, I would University of Arizona and their fine co-eds. I would just admit that having seen this now, I do appreciate that it does keep things moving really well.
There's a Gin Blossom song on this soundtrack, which
Also, Billy Idol sang a song called Speed on this soundtrack, which who knew? I didn't even know Billy Idol had a song called Speed. Anyways, it keeps it moving. It's got some good stunts. It has good moments. It's never dull. It's better than I initially thought it was. It's still not a good movie, but it's okay. I will give it 6 Timothy Dolphins.
Gin Blossoms and Billy Idol together. What a show.
Wow. I really enjoyed this movie. I, understand that it has some unbelievability going on here. But I, from a script standpoint, we talked about that earlier. I think it keeps it moving. It keeps it interesting. Keeps it exciting. It's pretty original, for its premise. Keanu Reeves, and Sandra Bullock. This is kind of a star-making vehicle for both of them. Yeah, I think it still holds up. I think if this were a movie that you can't make this today with cell phones, it would just ruin the whole premise.
But the 90s are back, though. You could set it you set the Speed remake in the 90s.
Yep, true. Yep.
Change nothing. Except
or the internet. They just look up the bad guy and find out who he is. In 2
what
seconds.
about a Speed sequel that's basically like a remake sequel type of thing with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, and they reunite as exes, and they're on a speeding bus again.
Oh,
And they can't stand each other.
Yeah, they hate each other. Oh, yeah.
And they've got a kid.
Oh, yeah. No, I like that. I like that. She never told him about it.
It's me.
It's you.
Oh, but
This
instead
is
of
your
it being
son,
a bus,
And they're both like, wow, why doesn't he look anything like either one of us?
He had a rough go. of
He's
it.
adopted.
It's an adopted Asian
She
baby.
admits that she adopted their son without his. I never told you about him because I didn't know if you'd man up because you're such a crazy rebel cop. You adopted a kid,
If I'd have known-
and I'm the father.
If I'd have known you were adopted, I never would have abandoned you.
I was dumping some cans into a recycling bin, and I just saw this boy sitting there, and I said, "Can I be
I'm
your
a
mother?"
recycling bin. That makes perfect.
Remember
sense.
that can baby we thought we murdered?
It all came full circle for me in that moment. Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, it's not even a kid. It's just a stack of kids.
Just a stack of cans. Yeah, but in this movie, when the bus hits a recycling bin full of cans, a bunch of babies fly out.
Oh my god!
And she's like, that was just cans, right? And he's like,
Whoa.
Just like last time.
let's go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie holds up for me. I think it's pretty solid. I had a good time watching it, and Dennis Hopper rules. I give this an 8.
You know, I saw a lot of the flaws with this movie that you guys were talking about, but then I looked at the bus number and it was 25. 25.
Wait, that equals 50.
25 plus 25 equals 50, and 50 is the speed the bus has to go.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, I love this movie, but my least favorite shot of the movie is right in the beginning when they first arrive and their car like launches over a hill and like it goes flying in the air. Like
Snaps both axles and they can't get to the crime scene for
it,
no
it
reason.
just
It's
feels
awesome.
it is awesome. Yes, but it's like it is objectively awesome. But in the movie, it makes no fucking sense.
This is the dumbness that I'm talking about. Sprinkled throughout.
But it
literally
doesn't.
sprinkled
What does it
throughout
say
this
about his character that he drives like that? That he's a speed demon? I guess that's what they're trying to say.
No, because they got to get on the scene first.
that he doesn't care if their car breaks on the way to the crime scene and they have to get a ride from an Uber.
It just feels to me, that shot feels like it's from another movie. Like it's
so that you know that if a car can do it, then a bus can do it.
that's true.
Hey,
That's
there you
true.
go. Maybe
It is
so
setting
true.
it up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a good time. I just love that on-screen chemistry between Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves. They're just fantastic together. This movie doesn't make no damn sense. I mean, why would anyone make a bomb that goes off if a bus goes slow? What the fuck is the point, dude? What are you saying?
Yep.
Like, I realize being a serial bomber is an insane thing to be, but like, you know, the Unabomber, he had like a manifesto and everything. Like, this guy is just like, I want $3.7 million, but I also want to just fuck with this other guy.
He had a manifesto. It was all about the University of Arizona.
University of Arizona
we don't know
football
this
team.
guy didn't have a manifesto or two later.
He was
on.
drinking Coca-Colas and watching college football.
Well, yeah, he's celebrating having finished his manifesto. Those things are hard.
You know why he was drinking Coca-Cola? Because he hates Pepsi and he's got a bone to pick with them.
It's all on page 347 of the manifesto.
I hate Pepsi. You don't understand what Pepsi did to me. Okay.
There is a whole section on Royal Crown Cola in the appendix, the third appendix to the manifesto.
I like that you called it Royal Crown. Is it Royal Crown?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
RC
RC Cola
Cola.
is.
Yeah, but
You
he
didn't
didn't
know
call it RC
No,
Cola.
it's Royal Crown Cola.
Wow.
I just feel like Dr. Pepper has to be mentioned. I don't know what to say about it, but
You don't have a joke. You just want to throw it.
I
in
just
there.
need.
Don't sully the good doctor's name.
Yeah.
Stop with your Dr. Pepper product placement, man. They're not going to sponsor us. You say too many controversial things.
Are you sure?
The cleanliness of the Dr. Pepper brand is at stake.
You know,
Colin,
I used to have one of those T-shirts that said "I'm a pepper" on it. You ever see those?
Don't insult Mr. Pibb, okay?
Mr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb needs a degree.
Well, Mr. Pibb dropped out of Soda
Soda
Medical School.
school.
Yeah.
Get a job, man. No.
Everyone knows Dr. Pepper's only a veterinarian anyways.
Yeah. So, anyways, this is somehow my review of Speed, and, I'm gonna give it an 8. I think. Because Dr. Pepper.
All right, Jarale, you're up.
So this is by far and away the worst movie
No.
villain that I've ever seen. I did not believe this guy for shit. He should be somewhere beating his wife and drinking a fucking tall can. And instead he's a domestic terrorist. in the streets of Los Angeles.
Sounds like we've got a 10 coming, guys.
Harris, what did you give it again?
6.
Oh God.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. I did have a crush on Sandra Bullock. You know what? Let me not lie. I still got a crush on Sandra Bullock. Let's be real. That chin clef, it just does it for me.
Mm-hmm.
She was in The Blind Side.
Okay, let's take a little bit of point.
What was the last movie she was in? Like most recent?
Gravity was good, but that's been a few years.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bird Box.
Oh,
You can
yep.
see Bird Eye.
Mm-hmm.
We all said the right name, and you said it wrong.
Bird dog.
What is it called?
Bird Box.
Bird
Bird
nerdy.
Box. Bird shit.
Bird shit.
Yeah.
Big Bird.
And you know, I feel like they could have solved this whole thing a lot sooner. I
Just
don't
slow the
know.
bus down. Come on. End the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't like how any of the black people were portrayed in this movie. Although there were black people in the movie.
It's true. We're making some progress
Yes.
here.
Yeah. Progress. The 90s. Progress.
There's black people in this movie, but they're getting shot and robbed
And their cars
And
doors
saying
blown off.
wacky stuff as their
What
cars
about
are getting
the police captain
stolen.
guy's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Joe Morton's pretty good.
Joe. Okay. Yeah.
His mustache looks amazing.
Doing a lot of work in this movie.
I seem to think when I was watching this, I was like, oh, it's sad that Joe Morton dies later in this movie, and then he didn't. And I was like, oh yeah,
You
lives.
were confusing Joe Morton and Jeff Bridges again.
And I thought that Jeff Bridges' death was terrible. It was like, this is no way to die for a character that you've done this much building up.
Yep.
Anyway,
true.
I give it 4.25.
Wow. Zing.
That's fair.
Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
It is like so stupid, but it is entertaining. Like,
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of like.
were you not entertained?
I haven't seen this movie in almost 30 years. Is that possible? And yeah, and I think I'm probably gonna wait another 30 before I watch it again.
Seconds?
It's not that it's not that it's bad. It's just not that it's not great. But it does, I mean, it does do that whole thing where it keeps the momentum going. But like, there are movies like Mad Max Fury Road is a movie that is like nonstop. Go.
That is a great movie.
And somehow doesn't insult my intelligence and somehow like has just enough of a, I don't know. There's just a better, people have done
you
this
guys
better.
done Mad Max?
we have not done.
It will not be long before we do that because
I feel like that's coming up.
yeah, we're getting to that point where we're looking at those franchises and saying like, what do we have that's less than 5 movies long and is still good? And that's one of them. That's a great franchise.
I feel like every other year we're gonna pick like a big like 8 movie
Ugh,
franchise.
let's not. Let's just never do that again. You know what I thought the other day? I thought, which movies I would actually really enjoy doing? The first 3 Star Wars movies, but I don't want to do any of the other 6 or
we
especially
do
all the
love you
spin-offs.
Then you got to do the TV shows.
Yeah,
and
I know.
shit.
I just would
The
we
cartoons.
could do that. We could break it up.
just the first 3.
Like in the way that we did the original Planet of the Apes, but didn't do the new ones, or Star Trek, we didn't do the new
yeah,
ones.
okay. I mean, I would be down for but those are like direct sequels, so it's not the same thing as like the. But anyways, yeah, I would definitely be.
why do you love Jar
This
Jar
movie
Binks
really
so much?
sucks. So you guys are going to do the whole franchise now, huh?
The Speed?
Yeah.
The whole.
There's only
yeah,
one
we're gonna
more.
have to make it all the way through the entire
Aren't
franchise.
there 2 more?
No, there's only one.
No,
I think there's one more. That was like a straight to DVD.
there's only one,
don't
but
do
it
those.
but it feels like several movies because it just doesn't move that fast. It's very slow.
You never know when they'll come out with the 3rd one.
Yeah, it could happen. It's happened.
It's true. I mean, both Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock have careers still.
I've pitched a pretty great take on this very podcast for a sequel. So
The butt thing?
yeah, no,
the recycling bin baby one.
those are both elements of the take. The take is we get the original stars back,
Okay,
and they're
there's
exes, and they have an adopted child that neither of them.
But
knew.
how do you do you just ignore
It
that
should-
Speed
it should
2
be-
ever happened?
No, that was their breakup, and they
It
haven't
should
seen each
be-
other since then.
It should be in an Uber. They should be splitting. They should be splitting the Uber.
I was going to say spaceship, but I think Uber's better.
She's an Uber driver, and he gets into the Uber, and Dennis Hopper's son played by Colin.
Yes.
Is a mad bomber who has a bomb in their Uber. And the Uber is
They would have to go the
there's
way.
one sequel, but there's 2 posters. That's what confused me.
Oh, yeah. One of those posters, they were trying to get 2 posters because they wanted one of the posters where Jason Patrick looked the most like Keanu Reeves. They're like, which one?
Yeah.
Which one might confuse people?
The only way they could do a sequel is, you're right, it would have to be the way that Die Hard with a Vengeance was like the bad guy was related. He was getting revenge from a previous thing.
Yep.
They can't just be in the wrong situation again.
Oh, I've got it. The perfect twist on my take is that
Jeff Daniels still alive.
Don't twist on your take too hard.
But not well done. Not bad though. Instead of an adopted son, it's Jeff Daniels getting revenge for his disfigurement.
I'm back
in
and
this movie.
I'm covered
and
in
I'm mad at you for
fire
some reason.
burns.
No, my take is that she broke up with Keanu Reeves. She married Jason Patrick. She's driving an Uber because she's falling on hard times. Keanu Reeves gets in the Uber. There's a bomb in the Uber, and they fall in love again. But here's the twist:
She put the bomb in.
She's still married to Jason Patrick, and it's awkward.
It's awkward.
Or Jason Patrick could be in it. They're happily married. He blows up in an Uber explosion right in the beginning of the movie.
And by the end, she's forgotten all about him because
Yes.
she's back together.
It
with
has
Keanu
to
Reeves.
stay this
No,
awkward in the Uber. Otherwise, if it gets comfortable, the bomb goes off.
I kind of like the idea of Jason Patrick being like kind of at home and he's got like kind of a pot belly. He's lost his hair and he's like calling her. He's like, "Hey, babe, how's it going? How's work?" She's driving an Uber.
That's not an action movie.
This is really a sad and pathetic life.
She's driving an Uber because he has like started a second career as like a children's book author, but he's not making any money, and she's supporting him, and he's just like the worst. And then Keanu Reeves shows up in the Uber, and he still looks pretty good. And there's like definitely sparks flying. It's actually forget about the bomb plot. This is the thing. It's like she's
It's just a
driving
romantic comedy.
Yeah, it's like Before Midnight or whatever, but with these two characters. You guys are laughing, but I really want to write this now.
Yeah, no, it sounds
I
good.
think this has legs.
In this situation, speed is not so much a metaphor for speed itself, but it's a metaphor for the way we move through our lives and relationships.
No, the movie's called Minimum Speed.
Minimum speed. Minimum speed. Return of the cans.
Can babies everywhere.
Oh my God.
This movie is terrible, man.
Well, on that note, Jarale, thanks for coming back and doing this again
Thanks,
with
man.
us.
It made so much money in 1993, though.
Yes, it did.
Oh yeah.
And now it's
One of these days we'll get you on for a movie that you actually like.
No, I think this is funnier when he hates the movie.
honestly compared to this, Harry Potter was actually good. I'm like, maybe I did like Harry Potter.
You're the wizard. You're the one turning everyone into cans.
Is that a Bronco? We're looking at it now.
Yeah, it's a Bronco.
I think it is.
So OJ did a little promotion for this movie.
That's a Bronco.
He helped the box office that weekend.
Yes.
OJ's Bronco was newer though. He's got
he had a
Keanu's
nice
Bronco's
Bronco.
a classic.
OJ saves Hollywood again.
OJ's been coming up a lot lately. We just did Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
man could do no wrong except for that one thing.
There is something I think.
What we like to call OJ's big whoopsie.
Oh my God.
Oh boy, people are so.
You're talking about when he stole the memorabilia, right?
Yeah, that thing he did time for. Yeah. People are so. It's so hard to get forgiveness for these.
Because he
little-
was definitely acquitted of the others.
Yeah, the other thing.
All right. Well, Jarale, thanks again. And thanks to Chris Gill for coming out on the ones and twos over here. I don't know what that even means, but I just like how it sounds. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and so up next is Speed 2, Cruise Control. Thanks to Chris Morocco for making this lovely beat that I'm going to play, or I have been playing. That's right. It's been playing this whole time.
It's cans.
It's been playing the entire show.
It's cans. I like your Keanu Reeves accent.
It's just cans.
And he's like, ma'am, every 2 seconds. Ma'am. Yeah, so thanks to Chris, thanks to everyone, thanks to Harris and Colin for...
Thanks to everyone. Just thanks to everyone in the world.
Thanks to everyone.
Thanks for Los Angeles Mass Transit.
I would like to say that everyone that has ever
Freeway
been
system.
born or existed
Who's that-
contributed to this movie and therefore to this podcast in some small way.
Who's the MVP of this movie? Is it? Oh, do we give it a license to watch?
The
Oh yeah,
bus.
did we
The
give
bus
it a
itself.
license to watch? This is kind of split, but I think it averages out decent. I would say license to watch once every 30 years.
Yeah,
No.
Jarale, you would not recommend watching this to anybody? If they were like, man, I'm really in the mood for like a mid-90s like action thriller kind of a thing.
You could do so much better than Speed.
That is a fact. I think that's
Saddens
true.
me.
But yeah, once every 30 years is not bad.
Yeah, it still holds up. All right, should we sing the theme?
Dun, 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 dun.
Speed. they had lyrics.
Going fast.
Okay.